Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel with me, Free Tips Scout, for more scouting and more planning today on Sorare. Yeah, I've already posted the links. I don't know, it just came to me today. I was like, why don't I post the links? Taking away the task from, haven't I, Twitch Gaming? Hello to everyone. How's everybody doing? How were your weekends? Do let us know in the chat how everything's going for you in Sorare and out of Sorare. If you're on the channel right now and this is the first time you've ever been on the stream, we're going to cover a game called Sorare, which is a digital sports card collecting game where the name of the game is to collect digital cards of your favorite footballers or basketball players or baseball players. But for us, we only cover the football side of the game. And then to basically build really successful teams with them because they score points on how they do in real life. So if you're really good at knowing who's good in real life or spotting who's going to be really good in real life, collect their cards, then enter them into competitions in Sorare. And then what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to score the most amount of points. And then by doing that, you'll be able to win some great rewards, such as further cards in the game, which actually have real world value. You'll also be able to win match jerseys, match tickets, merchandise, cash rewards, and experiences to go and meet your favorite footballers or to go and meet just basically your favorite athletes around the world. So it's a really cool game. And there's lots going on with this game. Lots of changes, improvements, updates are coming. So if you're not already playing it, then you should be playing it. And you can play it today by getting started using the link in the chat. And that link will give you up to £20 free credit to start playing the game, which then you get that £20 where you can spend it on the auctions market, which is basically buying cards directly from Sorare, but you get the £20 to spend on whatever players you want to do. So use the link because it does help you and it also helps to support this channel. We're also going to be covering in the second half of the stream a game called Pooky. It's this one here. And I've had a much better game week on Pooky than I have on Sorare. I'm going to go through my game week in a minute on Sorare and kind of show you it's been pretty much one of those game weeks where nothing really came off. But on Pooky, it's been much better. On Pooky, we're actually winning some money, which is great. And if you don't know what this game's about, this is a sports prediction game. So the name of the game with this one is you need to predict what you think the scores are going to be in a game. And then if you are accurate enough with your predictions, and you don't need to be 100% correct, you just need to be partially correct in most cases. So for example, if you said you think a game is going to be 2-1 to the home team, when it's 2-1 to the away team, you're still going to get points for that because you correctly guessed that there would be like 3 goals in that game. And then if you're able to collect enough points by your predictions in most, if not all of your games in a game week, then like Sorare, you will place high up in a leaderboard based on the amount of points you've got. And if you can place in the top 50%, 50, top 50% of a leaderboard each game week, you're going to win some money. You're not going to win any cards. You're not going to win any like digital kind of assets or anything like that. You're going to win money. And then that money you can then use to buy bigger, better Pooky balls. And you need to use the Pooky balls, which you can see on the screen right now. This is how you play Pooky, by using these to make your predictions. If you're winning more money, then you can win, you can win and put towards the money towards better Pooky balls, which will help you to get better ranks in the game. This is great, this game. We love it a lot, and it's really easy to play. You can play it in a minute. You don't need any research at all. You don't need to look into stats or anything. You can literally play this game in 1 minute, put whatever scores you want, and then just sit back and make money, which is what we're doing. So the link for that is in the chat as well. Do use it because that link will give you a free Pooky ball, which will allow you to start playing the game. You also get a load of in-game currency, which is really important, and it's actually quite difficult to get in the game. So if you can get a lot of that to start with, then you should. And that link as well will also give you a discount. So if you do want to get a better Pooky ball, then that link will give you a 5% discount. It's making the ball a lot cheaper for you to get started in the game. So thank you to everyone that is using those links because it helps to support the channel, allows me to do the content, allows me to do all the giveaways we do as well. Right, that's the spiel out the way. Let's say hello to everyone. Hello to Paolo Hora. Hey, sir, good week for you. Okay week. Yeah, I'm going to run through it in a minute. Not that great on Sorare. But yeah, they happened, didn't they, those game weeks? So it's okay. Pretty good. Won another tier 4 in League 1 Semi-Pro and have a chance in the Liga 2 with Getafe today. Look at Twitch Gaming smashing it in those competitions in Sorare where you don't need many limited cards to play them. So well done, man. He also asked, what's your opinion on Daiki Hashioka, who joined the mighty Luton Town? To be honest with you, and I'll be completely honest with you, why is there nothing here, first of all? Why do we just not have... We had no screen. It was just a black screen. Now, hopefully you guys can see something on the screen there. Do let me know, guys, if you ever see like a black screen like that. It shouldn't be like that. So now it's better. To be honest with you, when did he join? Because this is news to me. Honestly, this is news to me. I haven't followed that at all. Oh, you had Pooky on the screen, did you? Oh, that's good. It looked like for a second there was a black screen there, which, yeah, is usually because it's not picking up something. Fabrizio tweeted it yesterday evening. Yeah, it's news to me, man. It's absolutely news to me. I haven't seen it at all. Daiki Hashioka. Let's have a look at him. I feel like it's a bit of a random one. Why are they bringing this guy in? He does have some good scoring. Interesting. I want to have a quick look at that now that Twitch Gaming has mentioned it. It was not a transfer that was on my radar at all. Here we go. Has in talks for fullback Hashioka. It's an interesting transfer if it comes off. From the looks of it, he's like an attacking fullback, right? So I guess they're looking at him to try and provide a bit more competition for Issa Kabor. Because Issa Kabor hasn't really been that great this season. And he does play in that kind of that right back slot. So almost like a right winger. But Issa Kabor's been, look, he plays right wing back as well, right midfield. Issa Kabor's been quite poor. We bring up Issa Kabor. Now, Issa Kabor, if you guys don't know, is from Man City. But he's not really been doing that great so far this year for Luton in the Premier League. This has basically been his level of scoring. He's only got one attacking return, which is one assist, which I think, if I'm correct in remembering, came against, was it Liverpool? I think it was against Liverpool. There we go, yeah. It was against Liverpool. And other than that, he's actually just been quite poor. He doesn't really do enough defensively. He doesn't really do enough attacking-wise. And his end product is just not there right now. So maybe that's why they're looking at this guy now, Daiki, to try and give them a bit more attacking threat down the right, a bit more than what they've had with Issa Kabor. So that could be quite cool. Yeah, I didn't know about that, so thank you for letting me know, Twitch Gaming. I wasn't actually aware of it, but now they are being linked with him. It's quite nice, actually. Still quite young at 24. He's very cheap, actually, and is limited and is rare, isn't he? £3.25. I guess in limited terms is probably a little bit more than what you'd want to pay. But for the level of scoring you get in the AA, it's actually pretty good. Interesting. I'm going to add him. I want to keep an eye on him. I'm going to add him into the gems there. What's going on with the rest of you guys? All I see in the chat is Twitch Gaming at the moment. Not that I have a problem with Twitch gaming. It's nice to see. But yeah, I want to hear from the rest of you as well. What else has been happening for you guys this weekend on Sorare, on Pooky, on Ultimate Champions? Let me know. I want to hear, because I'll run through my teams right now, and we are going to spend some time today looking at the midweek. But before we do that, it's nice to kind of look back and have a recap. You can see at the moment that I'm not winning anything. So it really has been one of those game weeks where just nothing really came off. We did have some really good scoring, as you can see on the right, from the likes of Sorare and so Grigic, he was a new player that I brought in recently, even though I had him from a long time back. So I basically brought him back to my gallery because now he was like really cheap, and he done very well. He usually does very well. Carragher got 76.2. Edvardsen scored another goal. So he's got 3 in a row now, which is really good. You can kind of see, though, that we didn't really have tons of scores of 60 points or more. That we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 players of scores of 60 points or more. That's not really a lot. In a game week in Sorare, that's just really not a lot. Then we've got loads of other players that have scores of kind of like mid-range, 40 to 50. So you can kind of see we just had a lot of underperformance from a load of guys. Oh, I haven't seen Cossio. Did Cossio only get a score of 35? Oh my God. Okay, so I completely forgot about that. So Cossio played yesterday, and he only got a score of 35, which is what you get from starting. Played 90 minutes and he had an AA of 0.04. Oh dear. They lost 4-0. They got hammered. So he might have actually done quite well if he had not received minus 16 points from 4 goals conceded. Because he made 4 interceptions. He made 1 tackle, a few clearances there. He won more duels than he lost. And then attacking-wise, he done okay. That's a little bit annoying. I mean, I thought it was a difficult game, but I didn't think it was that difficult that they would get hammered at home 4-0. Because they are a good team, the Universitario, but wow. Okay. I mean, to be honest with you, it's probably not going to really make a difference because we were already struggling with this team. We took the gamble with Joaquin Blasquez last week on Friday because he was expected to start, and lo and behold, he didn't start. So I don't know what that was about. But all the projections on Sorare data was saying he was going to start, and then we kind of had a little look at like another publication, and he was projected to start as well. So we got lied to. We got lied to. But it doesn't matter because he's a youngster. He's only like 21, so I think we maybe just keep hold of him for now. But yeah, he didn't start, so he DNP'd, which meant that then this team was going to really struggle to get the score that we needed for the month long anyway. And now our captain, Cossio, only got a score of 35. It's pretty much, this is not going to be a good enough score that will count towards our end of the month ranking. So it's kind of like a write-off now. But I hadn't seen that last night because that was a game that happened late last night. And that's the first time I was seeing it. So that's a shame. Really good from Victor Edvardsen, really good from Grigic, and then we have Jamiro Montero. So even if Jamiro Montero hit a score of 100, it would only give us 294, and that's actually not enough to count as one of your top 4 scores for the month long. So that's a bit of a shame. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Cap 270, this was a complete throwaway team. And you can see it was. We had mainly DMP players in here, and they all DMP'd. They all DMP'd. I thought that Luka Hugebar might get on the pitch, but he didn't even get on the pitch there. So that's a complete throwaway team. And then Cap 240, we were trying to hit the threshold with a stack, and we came really close, but we were 10.87 points away. We needed a better score from Hadej and I. And also we needed kind of Cordova to start. If Cordova had started, we would have actually, we would have hit the threshold just about. But because he didn't start, he then started on 25 points rather than 35. And we were 10.87 points away from the $5 threshold. So that's a little bit disappointing. Um, we kind of knew going into this that Cordova could be the risky one here. Um, so I potentially could have changed it and avoided this, but because I have the stack, I almost just want to run the stack. If we take out Cordova and then we play somebody else, and then Cordova was to start and then he scores a goal, then I would have been kicking myself thinking, well, why did I take the forward out when I'm playing the rest of the team anyway, right? So it was a stack that didn't really pay off for us this week. But it did, it usually does, but not this weekend. So it's fine. This is annoying. So Cap 240 rare. Yeah, this is our main competition to try and hit the threshold. Now, we got too low scoring from our outfielders here. And then the goalkeeper that we brought in last week, Jakub Slovic, didn't play. He was on the bench, which I was really annoyed about because he is the number one. They've brought him in to be the number one, but they haven't played him yet. So I don't know why. I don't know whether they are thinking he's not fit enough yet, or whether maybe he just needs to learn a little bit more of the language to communicate with the defenders or something. The fitness thing doesn't really make sense to me because a goalkeeper doesn't really need to be that fit just to stand in between the posts, right? So, yeah, maybe they're going to give him more time. Like maybe they feel like it's too soon for him still. It was a bizarre one because they almost needed the experience in goal against Istanbul. And the youngster that they played in goal conceded 3 goals. And the last goal he conceded, he really should have saved it. It was not that difficult a shot at all. So, if anything, it probably leaves the door open now for the next game for Jakub Slovic to be in the starting lineup. If he's not in the starting lineup in the next one, I'm going to be a bit annoyed because he is the number one. And they would not have brought a guy over from halfway around the world to sit on the bench when he's the number one. So, yeah, but even if he had played, it would have been really unlikely that we would have hit the threshold. Because let's say that he played and he he didn't keep a clean sheet, but then he got like a good score in his AA to give him a score of around 50. We were like still 81 points away. So even if he'd have got a score of 50 here, we would have still missed the threshold by about 30. Our captaincy technically worked out because we did pick the player from our 5 that scored the best out of all the 5. The only problem is that the rest of our players just didn't score that good. So you really want your captaincy to be scoring like 70, 80 and above. 57 is not great, but it's actually better than what everybody else done. Santelli didn't get involved in a goal. Zappa didn't do that great. They lost at home against Rijeka in a title race game, which was a big win for Rijeka. So our main effort here didn't really come off. So it's a real shame because we want to try and win the threshold every week. And we didn't this week. And we have been winning it every week. So a little bit of a shame not to do it. How did, just out of curiosity, I think Ali Varul, he conceded in the end, didn't he? On the game from the weekend. No, he didn't. They won 1-0. He done really well, Ali Varul. Look at that. He got a score of 69. We switched him out so that we could free up the money to get 2 goalkeepers instead of having 1. So Ali Varul, we switched him out. We then got Slovic, and then we were able to then get Dominguez, who's our America goalkeeper. I am sad that we don't have Ali Varul. But again, if we had Ali Varul for this weekend, it wouldn't have made a difference because we would have still missed out there with that score on the threshold. So it kind of makes me feel a little bit better that we made the right decision to switch him out, bring in Slovic. It just didn't work out this game week. So, yeah, we move it on. Yeah, you can't win them all, right? And you shouldn't win them all either, because then if you did, it would be really too easy. Cap 220. Yeah, so Cap 220, we were trying to go for a good score in our month-long team here. We did get the clean sheet from Frederic Renault, which was great. We captained Leonardo Morales here. It didn't really pay off. And then Ivan Marquez and Santelli, again, didn't score that good. So we just haven't had enough good scoring from anybody. But you can kind of see all of our teams, it's pretty mid-range scoring, pretty underwhelming. These teams don't really matter because they're kind of like academy teams. But the other teams that do matter, Like the under 23, for example, the under 23 team, we knew this was going to be really difficult to win a card reward in because they didn't really have the best of fixtures. Our captain Corridor actually scored pretty bad, but not he didn't, because this score for a 4 was actually pretty good, but he scored bad for a captain. You know, you don't want to captain a player that scores 47, and we did. So, yeah, we were 61 points away from a tier 5. We would have really needed a score of around 350 points or more to win a card that would have been really good to give away. Even if we'd have got 60 extra points there to get a tier 5, it would have been nice to give a card away to the community, because that's what we do with the under 23 team. Whatever it wins, we give the cards away. But ideally, we want to be trying to give away more than a tier 5, right? Because the tier 5s are 60p, kind of most of the time they're on a 23 players that aren't even playing.
Welcome.
It'd be nice to give away a card better than that. J-Boy Gaming 91. Thank you for the follow, man. Welcome into the channel. And then happy not only my game was horrible. Yeah, I think there was a few out there that had a shocker this weekend. How did it go with Blasquez? It didn't go good. Look, he didn't start. So all of those projections on Sorare data, because there was like a big number of projections saying he's going to start. And then when we looked at one of the predictions that you guys, I think it was like a lineup prediction from some South American publication that was also kind of saying that he was going to start. Didn't start at all. And the guy that did start kept a clean sheet and done quite well. So yeah, we rolled the dice on that one and we didn't win. But it's okay, because we kind of said that if he doesn't play, then at least we've invested in a young goalkeeper that we can just sit on for a while, which is what I think I'll do now. We probably do need another goalkeeper, because at the moment, since we sold Mark Martinez, and to be honest with you, I haven't seen Mark Martinez's price yet. I know that he didn't play on the weekend either. So we did make, look at that. He's now selling for £1.96. So we were so smart there. It was the right decision to do what we done on Friday, where we took this guy out of our lineup. He is expected, and well, has it happened now? It's actually happened. Look, he's now moved to Granada. It's even updated it on Sorare data. So he's moved to Granada. There was talk on the weekend and on Friday. You guys were basically saying that he was going to move. We're like, okay, that's not a good move for him, because at the time he was a starter, Cartagena, and if he moved to Granada, he would not be a starter anymore. And so we were like, shall we sell him? Because we need to try and cut our losses and just try and make as much as we can before his price crashes and falls off a cliff. And look, he's now in the limited. Yeah, look, we sold him there, which technically on the day was way cheaper than what he'd been selling for. But we anticipated that he would be selling for a lot lower come today. And so we actually made the right decision. We sold for £2.48. If we hadn't have done that, we sold him to a bot. If we hadn't have done that, we would only be able to sell him now for probably £1.40, probably less as well. So good call. Just the disappointing thing is we didn't get the goalkeeper that played, but we will have to try and get one. You remember Neto Borges? Check his score. Let's have a little look. I haven't looked at him. Let's have a look at Neto. He had a bit of a shocking one, didn't he? 4.82. Oh, dear. Oh, not a good game for him. Oh, that's a rough one. Minus 30 in his AA. Wow. Done really bad here, didn't he? They didn't even concede a lot of goals either. He lost it all from the duels that he lost, yeah. Wow. Really bad day in the office for him. You didn't have him, though, did you? Because you ended up getting Mercenage instead. So you kind of dodged a bullet there, right? But one bad score, everyone's entitled to a bad score, right? So he's still a great player. But yeah, he had a shocker there. Oh, you didn't get Mercenage. I thought you did. Oh, you tried to get Mercenaries at auction, didn't you? But then you got outbid, so then you ended up getting Netto. I see. Yeah, yeah, unlucky man. Don't worry, he won't do that very often. McGovern started with an L15 a 0. Unfortunately, ended with 9 points. Did he really? I wasn't too convinced about McGovern. I mean, I actually appreciated the shout though. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about here, Michael McGovern is a 39-year-old backup goalkeeper essentially. But I think he's just moved, hasn't he, to Livingston? Yeah, because he was previously at Hearts as the backup. He's just moved to Livingston, and he was expected to start in this game. And so I think a few of you guys said on Friday, why, Free Tip Scout, why don't you get Michael McGovern instead of Mark Martinez? Because we needed a goalkeeper with a low L15, an L15 of around 38 or less, because that was what Mark Martinez was on. And this was a guy that was suggested to us. And I remember saying, I don't want to spend like the money because he's £3.39. And on, what was it, on like Friday, he was around, yeah, £2.50, £3. And I was like, I don't want to spend that on a 39-year-old. And I don't even think that like he'll do that good because it was Livingston. They're not a good team at all. They're really weak. And yeah, lo and behold, he didn't score that good. I mean, to be fair, that would have been better than the score of 0 we got, but it wouldn't have been significantly better, right? If anything, better off that we almost just got a score of nothing, but we don't have then a 39-year-old goalkeeper. We've got an under 23 goalkeeper. So we spent roughly the same, but we've got a card for longer now. So I think we made the right decision there. There wasn't really a lot of good decisions. The other one was Copens, right? Joe Copens. He was suggested to us as well on Friday that we should pick him up for the weekend. He had the game against, I think it was Genk, right? And he got a score of 46. So that technically would have been a good one because he was only about £1, £1.50, something like that. And so that he would have been a cheaper option. We would have been able to bring him in for the game week. It would have been a score of 46 that would have contributed towards this here. But at the same time, it would have been a little bit wasted because then our captain then bombed. And so his score would have been wasted here. And then we would have a goalkeeper that we would need to sell because it's unlikely that Copens is going to continue in there because he's only just filling in whilst Suzuki is out injured. So I'm actually happy with our decision. It just didn't work out. Yeah, didn't work out at all. Yeah, we could have looked at the Rhodes keeper, and we did actually. We did look at him. I didn't really like the fixture, and I don't really like him as a goalkeeper either. But you're right, we could have, and we did have, we could have, and we did have, we could have, and we did look at him. Yeah, and it just didn't really feel right to me. The other team that we had in play, there was another few actually. The other couple of teams that we had in play was All-Star Rare, where we were trying to see if we could get lucky by scraping a tier 5 rare with a DMP goalkeeper. And we weren't lucky enough because we knew that Carlos Garces might probably start from the bench, and he did. And he didn't get involved in the decisive. And then our captain, Bocat, also done really bad. He got a score lower than what he starts on. And so again, not the greatest captaincy pick there in the end. Salahi done amazing. I didn't feel confident enough to captain or to look at these guys in a serious team, Smolcic and Salahi, but they've done brilliant. What a win for Rijeka as well. Like, does that put them top now? I can't remember. Does it put them top or level? It puts them top and level on points, right? God, that's really shaping up to be quite a good title race, isn't it? Rijeka, Hajduk. We've also got Dynamo Zagreb, who haven't been the greatest, but never write them off. They're only 4 points behind as well. And they have a game in hand. So if they win that, they're going to be 1 point behind. This is looking like a really good title race in the Croatian League this year. But yeah, it didn't really plan out for us there. If we go back, We also had All-Star Rare Plus, which was a completely punty team, just putting in players just to try and scrape as many rare coins as we can. We're currently a little bit too low, but when Pappy plays tonight, then we should get over 100 points, and then we can get some rare coins. So this was a rare coin farming team, and then this was just a complete throwaway team. So you can kind of see the teams. We didn't really have, we just didn't have anything good enough this week, unfortunately, guys. But no regrets at all. No regrets at all. Yeah, the Peter Musa, this is working out quite well. If you guys don't know, Peter Musa is, wow, 2 hours ago he went for £91. Keep in mind we bought our card. It was like an impulse purchase for me about what, 10 days ago or something. Yeah, look, 10 days ago exactly. We were talking about him live on the stream, and we were talking about how there were these transfer rumors that were happening with him. And I just happened to glance at how much he was going for, or how much he was being sold for on the market. And he was listed up for around £40. I think we done like a trade to bring him in, but we got rid of, yeah, Thomas Henry, Sander van der Streek, and then we sent about £20. So I think in the end, excuse me, I think in the end we all this combined probably came to about £45, £46, right? And I think he was actually on the market for about £40. So we paid more value than what we could have got him for if we just paid in cash. But I wasn't really too bothered because he was going to be moving. And it now looks like he has an agreement in place with Dallas, FC Dallas in the MLS. And this week he's going to be flying over there, signing the contract and then doing his medical. And so then hopefully by this week, he will be officially announced as the new forward for Dallas. So, he'll be playing up front with Jesus Ferreira, Carrasco, also with Areola, because they have Areola as well. It's going to make the Dallas attack really, really scary and really good. And now he's selling for about £90 or so. So we're already making over double what we paid for him in less than 10 days. And we're going to keep him. We're not going to sell him, because it gives me an option now where I have an MLS forward for the whole of this year, who's an amazing player, and he will score very well. So yeah, love it. Love it. I'm really happy we've done that live on the stream. Any goalkeeper for midweek who will play? We're going to look at it soon. We haven't looked at it yet, J-Boy Gaming. We've just been talking about the weekend, how things have been going for everyone. But the plan today is to start looking at game week 4, 4, 6, and we can look at what the games... Oh, there's a lot of games happening. Look, tons of games which are happening. Wow, so yeah, we could be talking about this for a while. And then also looking at the matchups as well. And we could look at the pick scores too. So yeah, we're going to start looking into it. Copens. Yeah, you could look at Copens, but I really wouldn't suggest it, to be honest with you. What we also need to do is we need to look at rivals now, because there might be a game that's happening. I don't know if there is. We need to check it. But there might be some early games happening around 1 or 2. There is a game which is happening at 2. There's a few games which are happening at 2. There's actually not a ton of games which are happening today. But there's the K Seraspor one, which is happening at 2. And then there is the Istanbulspor versus Samsunspor one, which is also happening at 2. And we have to do a couple of rivals lineups today, because I have 5 days left. I have 5 days left to hit this challenge, and we are at 3 of 10. So we need to ideally try and squeeze in 2, and then hopefully win those 2 to take us to 5. But now we're at 3 of 10. Now we're at 3 of 10. we have to we we have to kind of take it a bit seriously and hope that we can hope that we can do well. This streak thing is kind of like tripping me out a little bit. That's why I was just like stumbling with my words there, because I thought that they changed the streaks. I thought they stopped it from resetting, right? Now I get that it resets when you don't hit the streak. So is it so that I'm clear? Is it a case that if we were at 7 of 10 and then we had just hit another 3, then we would have hit the 10, right? Because we maybe lost a game, it will take us back to 10. That's how it's working, right? I thought it was still going to be thought it was still going to be like remembering where you were. I'm almost so confused about how this works now, because they've changed it, but some of it doesn't really feel like it's changed. You lose and it's back to 0. Okay, I'm with you. So yeah, so if we'd have just like continued to win when we were on 7 of 7, when we hit the 7 streaks, we could have just got an additional 3, which would have then given us the 10, right? But then because we lost the game, it's going to take us back to 0. Then we have to try and do the 0 to 10 again. Okay. Yeah. This is going to be, I'll be honest with you guys, right? That technically makes sense, right? And that's fine. The problem I think that I have with this here is that because this is the only way to win anything in Rivals at the moment, this is already quite difficult, getting 10 wins in a row. Now, I haven't really been playing Rivals too seriously, because I'm not really into it. Like, I am playing it more than what I did on the beta, but it's not grabbed me, and it's not going to grab me. Like, it's not going to hook me like fully. But that's fine, because others will be hooked more into it. But I'm definitely like interested enough that I can dabble into it. I haven't been playing it too hard or too seriously. When we're now trying to hit a streak, I think probably my serious level is going to increase a little bit. But I'll be honest with you, right? If we hit the 10 and then we are then on 10 of 15, and then let's say, for example, we hit like another 2 or 3 wins, and then we kind of like lose the 14th one, and then we go back to 0, and we have to then do 15 wins in a row, I'll probably stop playing. To be honest with you, because that is just going to be so difficult to do, to get 15 in a row. And almost the problem with it is that you can spend a lot of time trying to do it. You can then do it, and then you open your reward box, and then you could actually just get an arena ticket. You could also get a card, right? You could get a card too, but I think I'm going to be super excited after we hit the 10 to then do 15 in a row, especially if we lose one of those games and it takes us back to 0. For me personally, I don't think I'm going to be too motivated to play Rivals much more after that. Probably I will, though, if they add things like this daily, whatever this is going to be, these daily missions, right? And then some other ways to kind of keep you engaged and rewarded. But yeah, I can't see me really fancying doing the 15 if we end up getting reset to 0. I just don't think that'd be worth my time. Has anybody done the 10 yet? Has anybody done the 10 consecutive arena matches in a row? Because honestly, that's a really, really difficult achievement to do, difficult challenge. I think I'm going to sneeze. Wish I could see all my Rivals history. But you should be able to, no? Because when you go into like my club, and then you go into the See Rivals history, it's in there. You see you're in here, right? And you can just go through the matches, no? All the matches you've done. You was at 8 twice. Oh no. Huddersfield Town have sacked boss Darren Moore after just 3 wins in 23 matches. Sounds about right. So nobody here in the chat has done the 10 in a row. What is the ticket thing? I have a lot of them, but you can't do anything with them. You can. Wow. So David's football and talking games, on YouTube doesn't realize, and that's not a criticism of you, man, at all. That for me says a lot about how Rivals has been designed, that we've got a user that doesn't actually know what they're supposed to do with these tickets here. Don't know what they're supposed to do with them. So basically these tickets, Davids, right? You use them to enter the arena, and the arena is where you win rewards in Rivals. It's like the game mode that matters. Challenging people here is like friendly matches, basically. They're not, but they're unranked matches, okay? So when you enter a lineup, right? Let's say I've entered the lineup for Benfica, then what will come up is that you'll have a tab. Maybe I should just do it on the screen for you to see, so you can see. But I can't believe that you didn't know that that's what you use the tickets for. So let me show you. I don't really know what game we're going to do. Let's do the... Oh, it's a little bit tricky. We have to pick one smart. Let's pick the sporting one, though. And just hope that we go up against somebody that doesn't have the limit, like the pro cards, right? Let's pick sporting. Let's just do whoever for the time being. Let's do him. Let's do him. Victor. And then we have 34 in here, right? I think we are probably going to do this one. Sporting at home. It means that we'll have to nail the captaincy. When I was the same as him when I joined Royals, had no clue what the arena was where I entered. Yeah, they've done a poor job, in my opinion, of laying out Rivals and making it very user-friendly. I think the layout of Rivals is really confusing. I think it's really too busy, too clustered, and there are sections which are hidden, which I'm going to show you now. So when we do that and we say continue, and then we have Victor as the captain, that's fine. And then let's just kind of say Gegenpress for now, though I think we'll want to change that later, right? So David, as you can see on the screen, we've added our lineup. We've entered a lineup for this game, right? The sporting game happening later on tonight. And then what you have to do is you have to click here where it says arena, or you click down here where it says join the arena. Okay, it's got the same purple color as the ticket. So click either one of those. We'll click arena here. And then this is where you enter the arena with a ticket. So it's your entry cost.
Here he is again. That's astonishing. It's
Oh, wow.
world class.
Setup 68, man. Incredible. It's so good to see Setup 68 back. And Setup 68 has just gifted out 5 subs to the community. So Setup 68, he is a legend on this channel. I don't feel we've seen him in a while. I'm sure he's been really, really busy. But I massively, massively appreciate the support there. And guys, if you've just been gifted a sub from Setup68, so that's Fraser MC, Pirek, Horny Bastard, Arby's, and X Demaco. If you guys have just been gifted a sub there, then and you're here, then do say a big thank you, because that is incredibly generous. It now means that you can take part in giveaways that we do on the streams. You also don't see ads anymore. You can win, you can earn more free Tip Scout Fund coupons quicker. You can also join the Discord as well. So pretty nice from one of the nicest guys we've got here on the community, on the channel. How's things going, Setup68? How's everything going for you in Sorare? I'm sure you've got a nice story to tell us about you hitting podium or something, no? He's usually doing very good in Sorare. I know, horny bastard. Love it. Yeah, so then you enter the arena. So sorry, yeah, so David's, You enter the arena and that's how you do it. But the way they've designed this is really, I think it's really ugly. And I don't really, I think it could have been designed so much better so that the flow was easier for you to understand, so that users then know that, like, I have to click the arena ticket here, or naturally it just pops up with the arena ticket to say, do you want to enter now into the arena with it as well? But yeah, you have to enter it. So we're going to do that now. Like this whole design, like this is so ugly. This just looks so rubbish, really. I think it looks rubbish personally. I don't like the look of this at all. I think it looks like very basic, the way it's been designed. I think design-wise, there's a lot to be desired with Rivals, and navigation-wise, I don't think it's that good either. I don't think it's very intuitive. They have to change a lot. And hopefully, one of the things they change soon is the ability to be able to sort the games from earliest kickoff to the latest kickoff. Because this is one of my biggest bugbears with Rivals right now, is that you can see that we're looking for games, right? And to be honest, there isn't a lot of games which are happening today, so it's a little bit easier for us to kind of sift through. But imagine on the weekend where there's tons of games which are happening and you don't really know which one you want to go in for. You just kind of want to see the games which are happening earliest through to latest and then make a decision on it, right? Because often with Rivals, you're going to be more interested and more concerned about entering a team for the game that's just kicking off sooner rather than later. Now, they have kind of changed it where they've done a slight tweak where you can see the games happening today, you can see the games happening tomorrow, and the games after that, right? Because before, you had all these games which were happening, you know, a few days in advance. These were kind of grouped together, which made it really messy to sift through. Now they've sifted it and they've divided it by day, but they haven't divided or organized the games by time yet. And I really want them to do it this week because, in my opinion, it's not a big thing to add in. It's a quick win, but it's a big win for the community. Sunub68's at it again. Oh man, so amazing. Thank you so much, Sunub68, and congrats to J-Boy Gaming. You've now also got a sub to the channel. God. Here he is again. Really, here he is again. Sunub68, you on a rampage here. Sunub68. He's got trigger finger happy here. Wow. Sunub68 has given 109 gifted subs to the channel. 109. That's incredible, man. Honestly, there's such amazing generosity. If you don't know, the subs are a big part of keeping the channel going. So whenever there are subs like that, it's a huge, huge support to the channel. Incredible support, man, from you, Sunub68. Really. I can't see you in the chat. Oh, I'm bloody 0-3 versus you in Rivals. Are you really? You do have to turn that around. Yeah. I don't actually have that good a record in Rivals, I don't think, because I don't play it too hard. But yeah, now that I'm kind of on 3 of 10, we need to try and take it a bit more seriously. So, which we'll do now, right? The difficulty here is that with Rivals, when you pick like the clear favorite, you have to make sure that you pick the exact players that are going to smash it. Because usually these teams have loads of quality players, which means that everybody can score really good. And so then you can actually end up losing these quite easily because you haven't picked the 5 players that have scored the best, right? So you might have picked a player that's got a score of 60 and 70, which would be amazing. And most of the time that will win you your Rivals matchup. But you didn't pick the players that got 80, 90, because there were enough players in there that could do that. So we've done the sporting one, which is a little bit risky because we might, again, have that situation where we haven't picked the exact 5 that have exploded. I don't think I want to do the Samsung Spore one. Although I might want to do that one. This one's happening already. Well, in an hour's time. The lineups haven't been announced yet. I don't think I would want to do that game. But I think I might want to do the Samson Spore one, where we would probably do Kosuk. They've got some defenders here that kind of score okay, like Ozturk, Satkar. They're not bad. Bola hit a really big score, but I don't think I'd pick a Bola. We could just do Ozturk or something. They have Flavian Tate, who I quite like. But their midfield is a little bit weak, actually. And they have Carlo Holst, who's brilliant. And then what would we have? We'd have 29 after that, doing this kind of a team. You guys might have noticed it as well, but the cap changes, right? So when you are picking, sorry, when you're picking a team, like a game which maybe has Bayern Munich playing, then the cap will be around 290. When you're not picking like a game that has high capped players in it, you get 220, which is kind of like a little bit variable. Can you do the ticket thing as many games as you want in one day? Or, yeah, you can do it as many games as you want. You can do it as many, you can enter as many arena games as you want in a day. The only limit to how many you can do is based on how many arena tickets you actually hold. But if you had like, I have 30 or so, I have like 31. So technically, I could enter every single game in the arena today. I don't know how many there are. What, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13 games. So I could enter 13 times if I really wanted to. It's really bad if it's one top and one shit team. Yeah, it is a little bit. It's a little bit of a trick when you see a really good team going up against a really bad team, because as I mentioned, you can think, okay, this is going to be really easy to win because I know my players are going to probably do really well against them. But the difficulty is that there's going to be loads of other players in that strong team that are going to do well. So then again, as I say, if you don't pick the exact 5 that score the highest, maybe you pick a really good team that scores like 400, but then the person you've gone up against has scored 405 because they just happened to pick the one player that you didn't pick that actually ended up scoring, say, 80, and your player scored like 75, right? And that's going to really suck. And that has happened to me a few times. So I think what we'll do, we'll probably come back in about 20 minutes or something, and we'll check to see what the lineup is for Samsunspor, because they're going up against a team which are bottom. I don't really like Istanbulspor. This might be the game that I want to do. That's true, though. Yeah, that's true. What Twitch Gaming says. That is true. So yeah, we're gonna maybe do some rivals, but it's not a day, I think, where I'm gonna do loads of games. Let's have a look at the midweek for now. There's a ton of games which are happening in the midweek. So tomorrow, there's a whole mix of games from Premier League, Belgian Pro League, Swiss Super League, AFCON, the Scottish Premiership. Yeah, there's tons of games really happening. What's the match that has the biggest mismatch? Okay, it's Man City at home against Burnley, which is what we'd expect, right? Burnley, not that great. Man City are fantastic. They have them at home. They have a huge win percentage, a huge clean sheet percentage, and then a big percentage for 3 goals scored, which is what you'd expect. The opponent scores are very good. Defense and goalkeepers are quite poor, actually, but you would expect that Man City would do a lot better than that with the goalkeeper and defenders. The big question mark is whether Haaland's going to play, isn't it? Because he's still working his way back from injury. He's not played in a while. He probably won't want to miss this game, though. This would be a great chance for him to score 3 or 4 goals, right? But if he's not ready, he's not ready. What is the projection on Haaland? This was from 1 hour ago. Okay, look. Erling Haaland is in line to make his long-awaited return from a foot injury when Man City host Burnley on Wednesday. This is from the Evening Standard. If you don't know the Evening Standard, it's maybe you're abroad. This is like a publication. This is a newspaper, a national newspaper in England. It's not one of the best ones, but you've got journalists that will be digging out and finding good information. It seems unlikely he will start, however, after so long out. So yeah, so maybe he comes off the bench, right? That would make sense if he was ready enough to kind of at least start and get some minutes, then they probably wouldn't rush him back in because they don't need to play Haaland, right? No disrespect to Burnley, but they don't need to have Haaland to beat Burnley. Like Man City should be able to beat Burnley quite comfortably. Unless they screw it up, they should be able to beat them with the players they've already got. But if they feel like Haaland's ready to start getting some minutes, then they will probably want to, once the game is done, they might just want to give him 20, 30 minutes or something. Haaland is finally back from injury as he reveals pre-match video game routine. Okay. Yeah, and this is also from Manchester World as well. So yeah, if anyone does have a Haaland, you can start using him again really soon. But probably this is, I mean, the funny thing is, right, even if he doesn't start in this game, if a Haaland comes off the bench against Burnley, probably would end up scoring still. Because Haaland. And he's often producing so many chances as well. Let's have a quick look at this game whilst we're talking about it. Because with Man City, let's bring up Haaland again. With Man City, this is actually the last game week where managers can use their Premier League cards in the Premier League Winter Special. This is the last game week to do so. The problem is that they're often very expensive, right? How much is Kevin De Bruyne since he's come back from injury? Yeah, he's already up to £60 now. Rodri's really expensive. Wow, Rodri's only £60 though. Rodri used to be like over £100, didn't he, a few months back? Look. Rodri used to be about 164. He's now about £60, which I think is still a lot for a limited card, but in comparison to what he used to be, that's really good. Question is if Pep will risk it against Burnley or not. I think, yeah, that is a good question. And I think if they are winning 3 or 4-0, he probably wouldn't, right? And they could be winning 3 or 4-0 by half-time. Did you have a good weekend, FTS? Yeah, pretty good, actually. Pretty good. I chilled a lot. Yeah, I chilled a lot. I had to do some administration stuff, like some accounting stuff for, just like me doing all the content I do. It's like end of year, basically. And then, yeah, I was playing a couple of games. I just had a really chilled chill weekend. I didn't really follow a lot of football, to be honest with you, which was quite nice for me to do. Because, you know, like if you're doing football every day in the week, sometimes it, you know, even though I love football, sometimes it can just be quite nice just to not have anything to do with football, right? So it was this weekend where I really didn't follow too much of the football. I didn't watch any games at all. Yeah, it felt great. Felt really good. Did I win a reward? I didn't win a reward, no. We didn't even win threshold. It was a pretty tough weekend for us, really. Ruben Diaz is 20. Vardiol is 14. Okay. Then Carl Walker at the moment. Oh, Carl Walker's such good value, isn't he? £8.71 for Carl Walker. Really good. I think if you wanted a cheap way into Man City, this is the way to do it. Getting a Carl Walker. He's playing every game this season, which is great, really. He's always carrying that kind of attacking threat. His AA is pretty good for a fullback. Very good, actually. And you'd expect Carl Walker to be getting involved and providing a lot of width against Burnley. So, yeah, if you were looking at this game and you wanted a way to get involved in the Man City fixture here, probably Carl Walker. How much is silver these days as well? Silver's only £17 too. It's pretty good. Because you get really good scoring from him all the time. His AA is consistently 10 points or more. Look. Makes him so valuable. And for someone that's under £20, I think that's brilliant. He's not even 30 yet, Bernardo Silva. It's not even 30. Incredible. I saw you change Varol to Slovic. Why did you do that? I explained all that on Friday. I got no problem with Varol, but we had an opportunity to bring in another Challenger Europe goalkeeper who's just as good as Varol, if not better, which then meant that we could free up money to then get an America goalkeeper. So I had a chance to sort out my goalkeepers for the rest of the season by trading out Varol and trading out a few others as well. So yeah, that's why we done it. And I think it's a good move, actually. I think it's a very good move long term for the rest of the season. It's a shame we don't have Ali Varol anymore because he's been great for us, but we had to make that move before Slovic's price goes up. Club Rouge have a home game against Courtrai, which is really good. If you've not heard the latest on Club Rouge, then where's he gone? Antonio Nusa. Antonio Nusa is apparently on his way to Brentford. I think I saw that from Fabrizio Romano. This guy is really good, very talented. Doesn't really start enough, though. That's the problem with him. And it's a shame because he is good enough where he should be starting somewhere. So the plan is to, I think it's a loan move they're talking about with him, no? I can't remember whether it was a loan or if it's actually a transfer, but he's on his way, I think, to Brentford, which should be a good move. Is it 37 mil? Is that the number? So it's a transfer, is it? That is a lot. Is it really that? Oh my God. If it is, then I think you're right. That's too expensive, really. There we go. Just come up there, didn't it? Look. Brentford set to sign next Jeremy Doku from Bruges. I'm not sure I would compare him to Doku like that. Yeah, the deal for around 33 million euros plus 4 million in bonuses. Wow. That is so much, really. He is very talented, though, but it's not like in Sorare, is it? Where, like, the market, there's a market that is dictating the price and determining the price, right? You've got a club that wants a player and the club can basically say, pay this for it or you don't get him. That is a lot, though. That is a lot. To be honest, though, in the Premier League, that's actually quite cheap, though. It is a lot for what you get from this player who's still quite unproven. And his market value is like 17 million. So they're paying well over the market value for that type of player. But technically, in Premier League terms, 33 million euros is like nothing to a Premier League team. Even Brentford, it's not really a lot. The lineups are up for the Turkey game. Let's have a look at that. And then Jota to West Ham, the guy who used to play for Celtic. Is it really? Oh my God, that's such an incredible move for West Ham if they get Jota. Let's have a look at, thank you for letting me know. Our arena tickets available too. Let's claim that. Right, let's go and have a quick look at the, this one here. We could technically look at this one too. I just don't think we're going to enter that one. Cockerman starting. Like, I do prefer Antalyaspor, but this is a game that I think could go either way, which makes it really tricky. Antalyaspor have been doing much better. I mean, technically, if we did do it, could we do it where we done it like this here? Pick someone like Varul. Then Ramsey for 49. Then Buxar. Then we would have 26. Look, only 26, because it's giving us a cap of 230, not 220. 26 is not really enough anymore. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. Even if we pick this guy, we'd have 35. No. Do I think Brentford will go down, though? I don't think so. No. I don't think so. I mean, now that they've got Tony back, I mean, if Tony's sticking around, then Tony's goals alone will prevent them from going down. Don't think we do that game. Do you guys think Brentford will go down? I don't think so. They've had a little bit of a downturn, Brentford, haven't they? They've not been as solid as what they were at the start of the season. You can see they've lost 4 of their last 5. They just haven't been scoring enough as well, though. You kind of see here that they've started to turn things around a little bit, but they've kind of been in the Premier League. Look, this was technically before they had Tony. So this was before Tony returned for them. They only scored 1 goal here. They conceded 3. Scored 1 goal here, conceded 4. Scored 1 goal, conceded 2. Didn't score against Sheffield United. So, yeah, you could say that defensively they've been a bit weak, but they also haven't been as attacking. Now they've got Tony back. Tony's going to be able to bail them out of their defensive frailty because he can just help them to outscore the opponent. So if they keep Tony, then, yeah, they'll be fine. I don't think they'll be super high up in the Premier League. Like, they'll probably be around here. Because when you look at the top 10, it's actually, I feel like the top 10's pretty set. Look, you got Newcastle, Chelsea, Man United, Brighton, West Ham, Tottenham, Aston Villa, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool. I think the top 10 is actually the top 10 best teams in the Premier League. I think if Brentford got into the top 10, they wouldn't really fit because they're not really a better club, a better team than these ones up here. So I think they're going to be roughly around here anyway. I think the Premier League is actually quite accurate at the moment. Apart from Man United, I think are very lucky to be in 8th place. And I think Newcastle, if Newcastle hadn't have had this like horrible run, then they should technically be a lot higher than 10th, right? But they've just been on a bad run recently. I think, yeah, probably Newcastle have been way better than Man United this season. Chelsea have been a little bit hit and miss. And Brighton probably should be above Man United as well. I think it's quite accurate, though, the Premier League. Nusa is more of a winger than an out-and-out striker. Yeah, he's a winger. Yeah, he's a winger. Would you sell Rashford? I wouldn't personally sell Rashford, no. If I was at Man United, I wouldn't sell him at all. I think he's great. We know what he can do. Like, if the team are really performing well, then Rashford can do amazing. The problem with Rashford, and it has been a lot of pundits as well, even ex-Man United players have said this about Rashford, is that often a really amazing player for Man United will pick the team up and help the team to wins when they haven't been playing that good. They'll single-handedly drag them over the line. You know, you've got the likes of like the Beckhams, the Cantonars, the Ronaldos, right? The Rooneys. The real top quality players in Man United have been able to help Man United to the results they need to get, even when the team's been playing really badly. Rashford is kind of now considered to be like one of the star, more experienced players, right? Even though he's still young, he's considered to be one of the star players in that squad. You know, the player with arguably some of the biggest potential, biggest ability still, right? Yet he's not really at the moment able to drag the team to wins when it's not going well for them. So that's something that he needs to do. He needs to try and become that leader that can single-handedly change the game for Man United, even when they're doing poor. And I don't know whether it's a confidence thing or whether it's a tactical thing, but we know that he's got the ability. We've seen it, but he's not been there this season. But then nobody really at Man United has been there this season, right? So I wouldn't sell him because he's quality, but I would just try and get players that are going to work well with him so that then you can play him on the wing and that he's then got good players playing around him too. Rashford more interested in clubbing. Nah, he's not. But it's a shame that he gets pictured out and then when he's not doing good, then everyone talks about his clubbing. Yeah. He's not that type of player though, or not that type of individual that goes out clubbing all the time. Not like a Sancho. Sancho was loving the clubbing lifestyle. But I think the problem with Rashford, as I say, is that he's just he's not able to single-handedly affect the team as a lot of past Man United legends have. So he needs to work on that because he can be that type of player, but he hasn't been, unfortunately. All right. Let's go back. Where's our tabs gone? Okay, let's go back into here. There's a lot of good matchups here. Oh, that's what we were doing. Sorry. We were looking at the Turkish, weren't we? Let's go back. Hopefully we have... there we go. All right, so... let's have a little look at this one. Wow. Satka at 44. Mark Boller's a little bit of a risky one because you don't know what you're going to get from him. But Saka's a bit more reliable. And then we've got Flavian Tate in there. Flavian Tate, I'm a big fan of. I actually, I think I owned his card. I don't think no, I didn't own his card, but we had him in the Commons, didn't we? When he was playing for Stade Rennais. I feel like this was such a backward move for him to go from Stade Rennais to Yilput Samsunspor, no? I don't really understand that move. I mean, it was a free transfer, so maybe the Rennais just thought that he wasn't going to sign an extension. So just cut their losses on him, but what a weird move for him. He's actually not, he's not really been producing any good attacking returns. He's got no goals so far. He's got no assists at all. But his level of performances have still been pretty good. The worst home and the worst away side playing each other. Would you sell Onana, Anthony Scott, Harry, and Wan-Bissaka? I'd probably sell a load of players if I was at Man United. I'd do a big clean out. Because with Man United, there's too many bluffers. As Roy Keane says, there are too many bluffers there. So this is the thing with Flavian. He's got really good AA, but he's just yet to produce an attacking return, apart from this one. I think we're going to do it. He's only 47. So if we picked him, and then Kara's starting along with Carlo Holst, we're not going to be able to afford both of them. So Carlo Holst and then Kara. We're going to be 5 points short. No way. So look, maybe we do have to. That's such a shame. But maybe we do actually have to not play Flavian Tate. Luton Town captain Tom Loic has visited the club's training ground amid his recovery from his cardiac arrest. The skipper collapsed during... oh, that's good. That's good to hear. Honestly, I'd still be really surprised if he ends up playing football, continuing to play football. Have you been to any football games in the UK or when you was abroad? Yeah, I've been to quite a few football games in the UK. Too many to count, actually, to be honest with you. Haven't been to any recently in a while. So I might need to hit Sorare up for a ticket. So I can do some in real life scouting. I don't really want to play this guy. His like level of scoring is really bad. This is maybe what we do is we don't play Kara. Then we've only got 33. Which means that we would have to get rid of... I don't think we do this one. I mean, we'd have to get rid of Flavian Tate to then pick this guy who's cheaper, but just really bad with his level of scoring. Like, really bad. Definitely going to be picking Carlo Holst because it's Carlo Holst. No, I don't think we do it. We could alternatively pick someone from the other team, but I don't really like to do that. If you're going to commit with one team, then just commit with them fully. No, look. The only alternative way we could do it is we could put Mark Boller in there, but then we still wouldn't be able to afford someone like Kara. Yeah, Erkin Kara's 38. So then we would still need to remove Flavian Tate. No, I'm not going to do it. All we'd be doing is we would be risking our streak and we'd probably lose it. There's no one for 33. No, there isn't. No, so we skip that one. It's a bit of a shame. Hello to Rude as well. How you doing, man? We skip that one. do we then go into the other one that's happening in 20 minutes time? I mean, I didn't think I wanted to do it, and I still don't think I want to do it, but I think I want to at least explore it. God, he's got 56 for his L15, and there's only a cap of 230. Oh, that's really horrible. But he's got 52, 49. Ramsey's 49. Oh, I don't think we're going to be able to afford to do it, are we? The team that we want to do. And look, 29. No. I mean, we could pick this guy just to fill it up, but no, I don't think so. I don't think that's the right way to do it. Lionel Carroll's quite good at 36, so technically we could be picking a Lionel Carroll here, but I don't know who's going to win this, actually. I think Kayserispor could win it, and Talayspor could win it too. So if we backed Kayserispor, they've actually got a lot of good low-cost options, like they've got Ali Karimi, Lionel Carroll in here. They've got Sivalek in here. Sivalek's not bad. Even Cardoso at 47 is really good. You know, Cockerman, who hit a score of 93 the other day, has an L15 at 34. So, you know, technically, this is the team to be backing more because they're at home and they have better value in their L15. But I don't think I trust them enough to get it done. So I think we have to skip that one too. This is something that you'll see as well with yourself if you're not already doing it, is that you'll start to pick and choose and be a bit more selective about the games in rivals that you play. Especially when you're trying to hit like a big streak like this, right? 10. I don't want to just do any old game when I don't feel 100% confident on it. Because then if we do it and then we end up losing our streak, I'll be like, well, why did I do it? Because I didn't even really feel that confident about it. So I've got to feel like it's a game I feel really confident that we can win. Otherwise, we're not going to do it. So I think we'll look at a few more games later on. Might do the Trabzonspor one at home. But my worry here is that they will have quite high L15s that might not allow us to put out a good team. 54, 56 there. There's a cap of 240. How is it working? Does anybody know? Like, why is this 240? The other ones we were looking at were 230. Other ones were 220. Like, why? Like, this is something else which I'd love to know. Why is the cap different? It's obviously to do with the average scores, right, of the players. So I'm guessing that what the game is doing is that it's calculating the total average scores of, say, the home team and the away team. And then it's working out if they're over a certain amount, then they need to have like a cap total of 240 or 220 or 230, right? That's why with the Bayern Munich games, for example, which, you know, or the big hitting games like the Liverpools and whatnot, they've often got a cap which is closer to 300. So I'm assuming, even though we've not heard definitively from Sorare, I'm assuming that that's the way that the game is working out. It's calculating all the L15s, and then it's working out that if they are X amount, then they then need to have a cap of 240 or whatever. But stuff like that, like, it seems like a small thing, guys, right? But stuff like that, that should be the thing that is already explained in the game. Like, it's not a deal breaker, right? It's not something that's going to stop you from playing the game. But if you think about it, like, people are going to be wondering why. You know, like, if you've got new players to the game, which this game mode is designed to try and attract them, new managers are not going to understand it, but they will probably want to understand, why is this one 240? Why is this one 290, right? And the game should really be making the game as easy as possible to understand so that your users can play it better and can buy into the game more, rather than being confused and not really understanding things half the time. So stuff like this here, all it would require would be like a little eye symbol here next to the cap, and then you could click on it, and then it brings up a pop-up box, which then explains why the caps are changing, right? And it has like a little explainer from Sorare saying caps are dynamic, and they are based on the average scores of, you know, the total average scores of a team, for example. It can be a very short paragraph, but stuff like this, like when it's not in the game, and it's a game mode that was designed primarily to help new users get more, to onboard new users and to help new starters, new joiners get into Sorare more. It worries me that stuff like that is being overlooked or just completely ignored. And it worries me that stuff like that wasn't, I'm sure it was fed back in the beta, but why during the beta have they not added stuff like this? And it might be that Sorare just consider it to be not super high on the priority list, right? So they can just add it in at a later date. But there's a lot of things then that are probably missing that should be there to help new users get into this game, right? I'd actually love to know. I don't know where we get. If anybody knows, let me know now. I'd actually love to know how Rivals is being received by new users, right? That's the one thing I think is on everyone's mind at the moment. They've launched Rivals. How is it being received by new users? Like, how are they converting to Pro? Are they sticking around after the first week? Are they buying limited cards? Are they buying Pro cards? Is there anywhere we can find that information? Because I'd love to know. And I'm hoping as well that Sorare can start to provide more updates on stuff like that. Because it's all very well saying we've got an update about the game, and this is what we're thinking about adding into the game. I also think the community could really enjoy and almost really are craving for Sorare to offer some insights into their own data that they're recording and that they're tracking on how well things are received by users, right? And they could just almost do a little blog to give us that little insight into it. They don't have to be very transparent with everything. I think it'd be really cool for people to know from Sorare that we have these metrics that we were hoping for, and this is kind of how this new game mode is hitting these metrics, because stuff like that can actually put a lot of people's minds at rest in the community, that they know that it's going the way that it should be, or if it hasn't, then this is why it hasn't been going that way, and they've already worked out why it hasn't gone the way and how they're going to improve it so they can get it back on track. I think Sorare need to be doing a lot more of that to show the success or the learnings that they are finding with the game. Snickers, I saw this here. Let's bring it up. So Snickers has provided a link in the chat. Let's bring it up. Yeah, this is from me. This is I thought this was quite an interesting poll to do. The big problem with this poll is that it doesn't target just pure new users, right? So a lot of people that would have responded to this poll are probably just already managers in the game. But what would be great is if Sorare have done a poll like this, or if Sorare have been doing some surveys and feedback groups, and they've been kind of like, they've been speaking to the new people that have come into the game, and they've been collecting data to show something like this, that are they buying, are they spending X amount of time? And I know they have all the analytics to show it, but I think sharing it would be a really good thing for the community. Rude. Rude. Yeah, I love Rude too. I love Rude too. That's why I liked his comment. Rude. Love it. There's also another big talking point about Rivals. I know we're getting a little bit off track here because we're meant to be looking at the midweek, but there's like a really big talking point, and we've kind of touched on it a little bit last week and the week before. I think I want to just like talk to everyone again about it. One of the things that makes me worry a little bit about how the game is being managed is when we see that the game is designed in a certain way, or they've made a decision about a feature in the game or a core gameplay mechanic that is in the new update or in what they release in the game, right? From the get-go, but it clearly doesn't make sense at all. And one of the things was the streaks, right? So we saw the streaks, it didn't make sense at all. Why was that in the game like that from the start? Like, what's the process there in their internal decision making? Are they kind of speaking to users and saying, does this make sense? Is this good? And another one that a lot of people are talking about right now, and we've also fed back to Sorare, is that managers don't want to use their pro cards when they're playing rivals. And they don't want to use them because they don't want to be paired up against other managers that maybe have more pro cards in the lineup than them or higher rarity pro cards than them, which then means that they can outscore them easily in a matchup, right? Because if you put limited cards in your rivals lineup, you could actually, in theory, go up against like a fully unique team. You really could, even though you have a limited, the lowest scarcity card. You're actually going to then be at a huge disadvantage by using your scarcity cards, right? And as a manager who has some pro cards, I'm actually looking at fixtures now, like here, for example, right? The Gaziantep game. Now, if I was going to do that game, I would probably predict for Galatasaray at home, right? But if I was going to back Gaziantep, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't want to do it because I have a pro card. And I would probably want to play Pappy and pick him. But then if I wanted to pick Pappy, I have to pick the rare. It doesn't give me an option to not pick the rare. I have to pick the pro card that I've got. And I've just found myself where I'm avoiding the matches where I have the pro cards. And for me, that doesn't sound like it should be working that way, because it should be the other way, where you should be thinking, what are the games that I do have the pro cards so I can use them and I can then have an advantage, right? But for me personally, I'm looking at the other way, and I'm also hearing from a lot of managers that they're also avoiding the games they have the pro cards, and they are deliberately not playing pro cards. They're just playing commons so that they can go up against others that have commons. What do you guys think about this here? Because it doesn't seem like that's working well at all. And what worries me more is that it's already in the game like that. And yet it's not incentivizing people to use or to go and buy cards. So like, why is it like that? You know what I mean? Like, why is it like that? And if it is like that, have they just not considered that? Well, they have considered, because I know that it was brought up in the feedback in the beta, that the big feedback was that it's not very incentivizing to know that with limited cards, you're potentially going to go up against a whole team that have a higher scarcity than you. The ELO ranking should, in theory, avoid a lot of that. But what we understand about how the rankings work is that it's a mix of ELO ranking. So if you're kind of rank 344, whatever, you have 344 points, then you'll be matched up with somebody around your ranking. But what we also know is, apparently, according to Sorare data, is that you'll also got more of a chance of being ranked or matched up with someone that's around your rank that then also has pro cards if you have selected pro cards in your lineup. I want to know what everyone thinks about that, because there's two issues with that. The first issue is, as I say, the actual problem of if that is the way it's working, then it's not really, I think, a good system. And then the second issue is, like, why has it been allowed to get into the game like that when it was almost being flagged as being quite a big, obvious issue, and almost like is it not obvious that people would be turned off by that? I don't know. I want to hear what everyone thinks here. What's up, man? Long time no speak. Loving the face cam. Hello, Atmix. How you doing, man? Is this the first time, Atmix, you've jumped on the channel since we've been running with a camera? Surely not, no? If so, then that is a really long time. Really long time, man. Rude says, yep, same, commons only. I think it's hard for them to watch, or sorry, to match within a certain range. Like if you use one limited, that you will match only guys with 1 to 2 limiteds and not 3 uniques. Played a game with 1 limited against a full rare team. So, Mal, now that you've played that, you played a game, you put 1 limited card in your lineup, are you motivated to do it again? Like, are you motivated to buy more limited cards? Are you motivated to maybe buy rare cards so that then you could have more rares or more limiteds, right? I think this is the key question here, is that if managers feel like they are massively at a disadvantage from playing and like buying the pro cards in Rivals, then why do managers buy pro cards then? If they are at a disadvantage. This is the whole point, no? To sell more cards and to give another route for managers to buy those cards so that there's more demand for them, so that then it fixes the supply issue that we have in the game, no? You're not doing it again. You're not doing it again. So you're not going to be lining up a limited card again in Rivals. Has anybody has anybody gone up against like a super rare team or a unique team at all? Like, I'd really like to get everyone's opinion on it, because I think it is a good talking point. And it's something, I mean, I'll bring it up now as well. We might as well. Let me bring up... Here we go. Hold on a minute. Oh, okay. I'm going to share this, I think. Hold on a minute. Let me just read something. Let me read something right now. I need to work out whether I can share it or not, because it's part of this feedback group I'm in with Sorare. So I just want to see whether I can share it, whether there's any sensitive information or not. Hold on a minute. Okay. Make them work so we have a photo of the golden. Right. Okay. I'm gonna share this, right? I'm gonna share this. I think there's nothing too bad about sharing this, right? So let me bring it up on Discord here. Here we go. Where we go? Yeah, let me bring it up here. Okay. All right. So this is the feedback group that we have, right? We're kind of, there's a whole bunch of us in here, and we're talking back and forth with Sorare. We're giving them feedback. We're kind of saying what's working, what's not, the ideas, suggestions, bugs, and whatnot, right? And this here from Lamella, some of you guys might know Lamella. This was a really good kind of Discord message that he wrote yesterday, which we've all kind of been talking about. The fact that it feels like there's not really an incentive to use the pro cards, and it seems like it's counterintuitive that actually it should be the other way around. So you should be thinking, I need to try and use as many as I can. But actually people are kind of a bit like scared to use them. They feel like there's not a benefit to use them. And he actually says as well, look, it's counterproductive. It has felt very counterproductive, counterintuitive, that you should be trying to get those pro cards to give you an advantage, but actually you're at a disadvantage from using them. So he wrote it, and then today, about, 40 minutes or so, Dan's come back here, and I think this is pretty good. He says they're reviewing and going to improve how matchmaking works. We agree with all the feedback there. Part of testing a soft launch was to gather this type of feedback and improve core features in the Rivals gameplay. Now, I got to be honest with you, I don't really agree with that at all. I get what he's saying, but surely that's the whole point about doing a beta, no? Is that in the beta you can already see that it does, like, people are going to be put off by that. So I don't understand why they would wait until the soft launch to then do it, but fair enough. And he says, just want to clarify that the initial goal of Rivals isn't to have new managers purchase pro cards to play in Rivals. Managers will sometimes purchase cards through the Rivals experience, which is great, but this isn't our core focus for Rivals right now. That's kind of interesting. They're kind of saying that there is the ability for people, new users, new managers to buy the pro cards, but that's not really what they're trying to push. They just want the new users to come in, start playing the game, even if it's just with the common cards. And then later on, they want them to buy the pro cards. I think that's kind of interesting. That's not what I was expecting to hear. And then he goes on to say, before looking at conversion, we want to go super deep with the features we do have, make them world-class so that we have a fun, social, mobile-first gameplay. The goal of this approach is for Rivals to be a mobile growth driver for Sorare, especially around key fixtures, competitions in the football calendar. So I just wanted to share that with you, because given that we were talking about it, and Lamella also talked about it, and we now have some kind of feedback from Dan, so they're looking at it and they're looking to improve the matchmaking. They wanted to see how it was received in a soft launch. And yeah, the goal at the moment isn't apparently for managers to buy the pro cards, or they're not pushing the pro card purchases, even though they have the instant buys there. They actually just want people to buy into the actual game mode first, and then eventually, once they really love the game mode because there's some really cool features and it's just very addictive, then they can start to do that. What does everybody think? What does everybody think about that? About that feedback? What does everybody think about what Dan said? What does everybody think about this issue which we've been talking about? Hello also to Jordan as well. How you doing, man? Yeah, I think you're right, Rude. Yeah, because we know that their goal is to sell cards, isn't it? That's how they make their money. But they probably don't want to come out and say, yeah, we want to sell as many as we can. But yeah, I agree with you there. I thought Rivals was a part of repairing the limited market. How so, Smickers? You thought that this was a game mode that was what? In what way repair it? I want to understand that more. I think it's cool, but I want to understand what you mean by that. Gonna switch it back as well. So we all agree the limited market is dead. Well, I don't think we all agree in here that the limited market is dead. And it'll be really interesting to see what Sorare are going to announce early February. So literally within the next few weeks, I think we will have probably one of the biggest updates, the most significant, most shattering updates, because they have to announce things soon around rewards, competition structure, and supply, right? They have to announce things they're going to be doing on that. So within the next 2 weeks, we should get some of the biggest updates that we've probably ever had on Sorare. It'll be interesting to know whether what they do and announce is going to improve the limited market or not. For me personally, I don't see the long-term potential anymore in limited, which is why you guys have seen that I've been selling my limited cards and I've been coming out of it more, right? I feel like at the moment, the only real way to get a good amount of enjoyment out of limited, at least for me anyway, would be to spend a ton of money getting the absolute best limited cards in there. So buying players that are kind of like £50 and above, and that will give you the best chance of winning the bigger, better prizes in the game. So yeah, putting together like really cheap limited teams is, I think, a great way to start playing the game and to learn it. I just don't think it's a great way to win good rewards in the game. So, and the values are so low that it just doesn't, you don't want to win the tier 5s and the tier 4s, right? I sold 4 limited cards in a day this week and all had games that day. So I was hoping that that was the Rivals effect, but nothing since then. That's interesting. What were the players that you sold? Were they all from different teams, or were they for like one specific team that had a really good matchup in Rivals on that day? Rude. The Cap 240 winner this week bought his team for €19. Wow. That is incredible. I like stories like that. I really do. I love stories like that. Should we get back to having a little look? I mean, I don't see many others kind of contributing or getting involved in that talking point. I've got 2 rares playing against 1 limited in the Antalya game. But do you guys, I want to get the opinions first of all before we move it on. Do you guys think that it is a good system right now that we have in Rivals where you can be matched up with managers that have rares, super rares, if you've just selected 1 limited card? Or do you think like it's a terrible system? All different leagues, different contents, even cheat cards, by the way. Okay, cool. It's interesting that they're saying that they're going to change it though, or they're looking to change the matchmaking. I just honestly, I don't know why they would wait until the soft launch to do that. That for me is something that you need to iron out in a beta. And then in the actual launch, then even if it's a soft launch, then you can just tweak an already good system. But not having the right system in place for the launch and then realizing at the soft launch that you don't have the right system, that it's actually wrong, I just think it's the wrong way to do it. I think it's the wrong way. And it makes me worry that they're not managing the game properly enough, that they're waiting to see by launching it in real life what's then going to happen. Whereas you should be doing it the other way. You should be testing all of that before you launch it and then seeing when you are testing it that actually that's not the right way to do it. The same with the streaks again. You know, I keep coming back to the streaks. Don't understand why that was not identified. Well, it was identified. I don't understand why it wasn't changed during the beta. And it's the same with the matchmaking. The matchmaking is a huge part of Rivals, right? It's one of the most important parts about how you give this game mode credibility. If the matchmaking is like completely, like not completely wrong, but it's kind of broken a bit, and you've kind of waited until the soft launch to then like confirm that it's a bit broken. I don't understand why you would do that. That doesn't really help them, does it? It doesn't help them to make the game look like it's a bit like it doesn't really know what it's doing. It's weird. It's a weird one. There are not enough players per game to change the current system, right? What do you mean by that, Thomas? Not enough players per game to change the current system. Do you mean for limited? I feel it should be at least scarcity-based limiteds versus limiteds. I agree, yeah. I agree with Brandes there. I think it should be a system where when you start to pick a limited card, even if you just play 1 limited card, right, then you can potentially go up against a full team of limiteds if you do that, right? Because that in that sense, it would then make you think, okay, I should really try and have a full team of limiteds, because then that incentivizes and encourages your users to think, okay, I put 1 limited card into that team. I faced like a full limited team. Shit, like maybe I need to go and get like another 4 so that then in the future I can put a full team out knowing that I'll have a good chance to go up against another full team of limiteds, right? But I think, yeah, like putting 1 limited in there, knowing that you can then face a super rare or a rare team or a unique, is not really a good system at all. And it demotivates people to want to go and buy the cards, right? So I think I agree with you. I think it should be kind of like scarcity based, also based on your ranking. And if you don't put any if you don't put any limited cards in there or any pro cards, then you shouldn't really play anyone who has a pro card, because then you should just be playing against commons, right? That's the way I think they should have done it from the get-go, personally. Yeah, limited need to play limited and rare play rares and so on. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Or alternatively, you then just make it, which probably wouldn't make sense at all. But if you was going to do scarcity where you are limited and you can play against unique, then there should be no advantage, technically no scarcity bonus at all. But then if they've done it like that, then it kind of defeats the purpose of playing the pro cards, right? Because then you'd be like, well, what's the point in playing a limited if I get no additional bonus from using it in rivals? Or what's the point in playing rare if I get no bonus? So I agree. I think it's just such a strange one, because it is a game which is based off scarcity, and every scarcity has a different like bonus in the game. Yet this is one game mode where they lumped all the scarcities together, but then they said that the scarcities do have different bonuses, yet you're going to be playing them no matter whether you're limited or rare or whatnot. You can be paired up with them. It's just a bit interesting that they decide to do it like that. Is there a new collection event? We'll have a look at it now then. I wonder how many people play each Rivals game. Like for these Turkish games, is it tens, hundreds, 1000s? Do you think MLS cards will stay stable next week? Will stay stable next week? Depends on what they announce, I think, Malv. Sopsy is saying that there's a new collection event. Let's have a little look. Okay, let's have a little bit of a read of this then. So this is from 6 minutes ago. We are delighted. We're delighted to launch our 4th collection event to celebrate some Challenger and Second Division Europe fans. Eligible managers will find a dedicated club shop item today that they can claim for free and for a limited period of 5 days. This item will give access to a season 2022-23 signed jersey. The club shop item will disappear on Friday. Please find the details of the distribution based on our available stock, top 1 limited and top 1 rare, and top 1 super rare collectors in the 2023 collection. Leaderboards of the following teams will receive a jersey. So Amiens, Anderlecht, okay. So it's a mix of the second div and the Challenger, right? And these are the teams and clubs that they are talking about. And this is for 2022-23, not 23-24, not the current season. This is for last season. So you must be one of the top 1 collectors for last season. The problem I have with this here, I think it's great that they're doing a collection event, okay? I do. I think it's good. I don't think rewarding just the top 1. But then if they're going to do the top 1 and they have all these teams, then it means technically that they have to give out still quite a lot. I would like to see them expand out the collection event to like the top 3. Because I get it, top 1, you should be getting some kind of a signed jersey or something. But I think the top 3 should get something. Because they've still collected, they've still got a really high collection score. Just think limiting it to the top 1 is too restrictive. It's too small, like a sample size, really. Rivals is dead, though. When you lose a streak, you need to hit 7 in a row, and you have less tickets than that. I guess in that situation, you need to be. You're right, though. If you don't have more tickets, and you want to try and hit 7 and you don't have 7, maybe you've only got 1 or 2, then essentially what you need to do is you then need to either invite people in, because you get tickets. You get, I think, 5 tickets per each invite you make into Rivals. And then with the 2 tickets you get daily, you almost then have to be saving those up. So yeah, there's a new collection event. Guys, you can... I'm pretty sure we don't qualify for it because we don't have... we're not a top 1 collector for the second div or Challenge Europe. So there's nothing in our club shop, but check your club shop, guys, because if you are a top 1 collector for, where are we going? If you are a top 1 collector for, yeah, Challenger and second div, then you should have something in your club shop which allows you to claim the jersey, right? The signed jersey. And you've got up to 5 days to claim it. So do check it. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, actually. Twitch Gaming mentioned it. He mentioned it. But the invites only count for completely new users, though. Keep that in mind. People who already have a Sorare account and join Rivals via your invite won't count. What? What do you mean? Surely that's not the way it's working, Twitch Gaming. If I'm playing Sorare Rivals and I invite somebody to play Sorare Rivals and they sign up and play, then I get 5 tickets, right? Just as anybody does. It's not just new users. That's not the way they've done it. Surely not. That can't be the way they've done it. That makes no sense for them to have done it that way. Because their aim should be to try and get new users to come and play this game. So if I want to invite someone to play it, where is it? It's usually down at the bottom somewhere, isn't it? Where you can invite people to play. Surely, like, they haven't done it like that. Surely not. Where's my lineup? Here we go. Let's go into my lineup first of all. The one that we've done. This one here. Yeah. So yeah. Look, if we send an invite, look, we get 5 arena tickets for each invited rival. So that's the way they've done it, man. So whether you're new or existing, you send a challenge, and then if it's a new person that signs up, right, then sure, you're going to get 5 arena tickets. But if it's someone who's existing, then yeah, of course they won't. But everybody can get the 5. I'm doing a big gallery revamp. What do you reckon? Which 6-man stack should I buy? Oh my God. I don't know for that, man. You'd have to do, like, activate a free tip scout fund coupon for that, man. Then we can look at it. Yeah, I feel gutted for you as well, Brandes, because I think that being a top 3 collector, I think is a good achievement, right? To be a top 3 collector. Top 1, of course, I think they should get, what I think they should do is top one should get a signed jersey, right? And then the other top 2 should just get a jersey. It doesn't have to be a signed jersey. They should just get a jersey, right, of that club that they've been collecting for. I think just giving the collection event to the number 1s, I don't think is that great. Because even the top 3 would have spent a lot of money and time and effort to kind of, like, you know, collect. I'm top 3, for example, right now. I'm like top 3 for Luton Town. And I know that Jordan's also technically top 3 because Jordan's on the same amount of points as me, right? I think if they announced a collection event where they only rewarded, like, the top collectors from all the Premier League teams, right, to number 1, I think I'd be pretty annoyed. I think I'd be pretty annoyed, actually, because I feel like I would probably like to be considered to be rewarded in some way for collecting a club that, you know, like is my hometown club, and that I've actually put a lot of time and effort into kind of get the collection level up. So that's why I feel like the collection event's fine, but I think if they continue to make it just the top 1, I don't think that that is so incentivizing. I think it's then just a very exclusive collectors club. If they did top 3, I'd murder someone. If they did top 3, that'd be brutal. Because, yeah, technically we're on the same points, right? And then, look, even Guito's on the same points too. We need more cards for Luton. I think one of the annoying things with the collection bonus, we talked about it, I think, a few weeks back, is when it's a new season and they release the collection, they release the new cards, right? So you can start collecting for them. I think one of the annoying things with the collection is that this is an incomplete collection. It's complete, but there are loads of players that are missing from Luton Town, and there'll be loads of players that we're missing from other teams as well, right? So then we're kind of we're 4 or 5 months into the season now. And I've got 4 or 5 months worth of bonus on here. By the time that they add the cards which are missing, I won't get like a lot of time to use those cards with the full bonus, right? Because then by the time they release them, but let's say they release them in 3 months' time, right? Then I've got additional players like Ross Barkley, for example, right? Or Tom Loikia. Then I could start to use them, right? As part of my Luton Town collection in lineups. But then if they release them in 3 or 4 months' time, then what? Then 3 or 4 months after that is then going to be the new season cards anyway, which means then that this bonus of 5% is fine, but then we can't actually use these cards with the 5% bonus from the collection and then the 5% season bonus, right? So it just limits the amount of use you get out of the cards for like a full year, for example, when they don't release a full set of players at the start of the season, and then it takes them months and months and months to release those missing players, right? Those missing faces. Free Tip Scout. Check this tweet and answers. I talked to him, and apparently you only get tickets if the person did not have a Sorare account yet. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I'm basically saying. That if you invited somebody to come and play Rivals and they did not have a Sorare account yet, then you should get the 5 arena tickets, right? If you invite someone that's already got a Sorare account, then you shouldn't get it. Because it's just like the sign up, isn't it? It's like the sign up bonus. So, yeah. So that works exactly the way that I expect it to. Yeah. What I thought you were mentioning earlier, Twitch Gaming, is that if you was an existing manager and you invited somebody and they signed up for new from fresh, you wouldn't get the 5 tickets. And I was like, that can't be the case, right? I thought that's how you meant earlier. But the way you said it here, that 100% is the way it needs to be. Yeah. Because then everybody has an incentive to invite new people into the game, right? To play Rivals, and they get something from it. And that's the whole thing for Sorare, is that they want to try and hit the mass market, which means that they have to try and attract new people to come and play the game. We need new demand in the game. Having existing demand in the game, just only existing demand, is just going to result in a prolonged situation that we're seeing in the market where the prices continue to go down. There's not enough new money coming into the game. And ultimately people then get bored, they get frustrated, and then they leave. So yeah, totally cool. Yeah, we got our wires crossed there, didn't we? But we got there in the end, man. Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, the way that you mentioned it is absolutely correct. Yeah. Right. This is probably the announcement about the collection event. There we go. So don't forget to check in your Sorare shop, your club shop, to see whether you are one of those eligible managers that can claim a signed jersey. You have 5 days to claim it. So just check it as soon as you can, because it might sound like a lot of time, but actually those 5 days will go really quickly. And you don't want to have had it in your club shop, but then miss the time to claim it. So just make sure you check it. Let's go back here a little bit. What other teams are probably quite good to look at? Leicester City at home against Swansea is very good. The only problem with that is that there aren't huge amount of Leicester City players that have cards. Arsenal at home or away to Nottingham Forest. Barcelona are in a bit of a world of pain at the moment, aren't they? But that makes it bad for users who want to play rivals but can't as they don't have tickets. Surely they, they don't just want to play PK. I actually agree with you, J-Boy Gaming. So the situation that J-Boy Gaming's in is that J-Boy Gaming wants to play rivals, right? Let's say that J-Boy Gaming wants to play like 5 games, right? 5 arena games, okay? And let's say that he doesn't have an arena ticket at all. He can only play 1 or 2 in the day because he then has to wait for the arena tickets to be replenished, right? There's no other way for him right now to play more. And so his point that he's making is actually very, very important, and it's actually a good one, is that a lot of people that would have played Rivals initially would have gone hard on it, spending tons and tons and tons of arena tickets, like really a lot. They would have been maybe doing 10, 15 games, you know, initially, right? For the initial craze. But if you're only replenishing 2, a maximum of 2 in a 24-hour period, then you're going to quickly run out of tickets, right? But then the amount that you want to then get back is so slow that you won't be able to do more than 1 or 2 games unless you start to win the streaks. And what he's saying is that if you are not able to hit the streak, but then you've already used up all your arena tickets, then there's no other way for you to play more games in Rivals in the arena, right? In the arena, which is where it counts. And that's where you get the rewards. So that's also a really good, important point, because there could be some managers out there that are getting bored or frustrated with Rivals because they can't play it enough. And there's no way for them to earn more arena tickets. So they need to get a move on. And they need to add another way. It might be in the daily missions here. They need to get this added soon if it means that you can earn more arena tickets in here. Because having just one method from the streaks to do it, and then the 2 that you get in a 24-hour period is technically not enough. Because as we say, if you are down at 0 of 10 and you've only got, say, 2 arena tickets, right? You can only do 2 games per day. That's all you can do, 2 per day. And then you've got 7 days or whatever it is to then hit the 10. And so it's going to be really difficult for you to do. 2 tickets a day, just don't spend all at once. I'd happily spend coins for tickets. It's so ugly how they made that. Looks like the page is not fully loading. It's really crappy, isn't it? Yeah, I don't like it either. Rude, I'm with you on that. Like, it looks like, yeah, this is the animation for when something's trying to load, but when the page has kind of got stuck and it's almost crashed and it hasn't been able to load fully. Yeah. I need to pop up the Mourinho. The Mourinho, I can't say anything. That kind of, we have it. I've actually got it. I've got it set up on the stream, but you guys can activate it. It's one of the sound alerts that I have set up, where we don't talk about bad stuff because we'd get in trouble.
Welcome,
even though we wouldn't.
To the real world.
Enikov, thank you for the follow. Welcome into the channel. So yeah, is anybody actually in the situation that J-Boy Gaming talked about, where you are trying to hit a streak of, say, 7 games in a row or 10 games in a row or 15 in a row, right? But then you've only got a handful of tickets. And then you have a time limit, which I think is usually about a week, actually. You then have a week to try and hit that streak, but you don't have enough arena tickets to play enough games to hit that streak within the time frame. Is anybody in that situation? Because if you are, I want to hear from you right now. I'm not. I have 32, right? And you guys know why I have 32. All we've won from our reward boxes have been the arena tickets, right? And then I don't tend to play more than 1 or 2 games per day. And because you earn up to 2 tickets per day, we're not really going down in the arena tickets, right? We're just going up, or we're maintaining the 32. But there'll be others, as I know in the chat, that were probably wanting to play this like crazy every day, but they can't because of this energy system where there is no other ways realistically to earn the energy, which is technically the tickets, right? Wait, there is a time limit, yeah. Once you get your first win, it then starts to count down. And I think it gives you just short of 7 days. I think it gives you like 6 days and 23 hours or something, right? Because it counts down initially from the week timer. So you have then 6 days and 23 hours to complete it. But this is the point we're making, is that if you have 6 days, 23 hours to complete your challenge, right, of say 10 wins in a row, but you've only got 2 tickets, you've only got say 2 arena tickets, it's going to be really difficult for you to do it, because then you have to do 2 games a day and you have to hope that you win every game in a row, because if you lose one, you're then not going to be able to do it. And of course it will reset it as well. Yeah, it's 7 days to complete a streak. And then what if you need a 20 row streak? Will the time limit be longer? No, it's not. The 20 game streak is still, you have to do it within a week. This is this is another thing that I think is a little bit bonkers with how they've designed it. And I don't understand, again, why it hasn't been picked up in the beta, that if you're going to have time limits on things, you need to have another way for people to earn their tickets, right? But if you don't give them other realistic ways to earn the tickets, and then you have a time limit, but they simply don't have enough arena tickets to play multiple games to help them achieve that streak within the time frame, there's no way they can do it. And like a 20 game streak, even a 15 game streak, to complete a 15 game streak in a week, and you've only got a handful of tickets, you won't be able to do it. You actually won't be able to do it. Because if you got 2 a day and you have a week to do it, you're going to come short by 1. You won't be able to do it. Oh my God. Yeah. The time limit technically isn't. No, the time limit isn't. 7 days is actually more than enough to complete a streak, because the thing is, you should be almost trying to, if you've got 7 days to complete it, you should be thinking, okay, I'm like 7 away and I've only got like, say, 2 days left. I need to hit like loads of games in one day, and then say 3 in one day and then 4 tomorrow, whatever it is, right? But the problem is, as Twitch Gaming says, is that there's no way other than the reward boxes and by inviting people in with your invite, and also with the daily replenish, there's no other way to earn them. And maybe that's why they've restricted them early on, is so that it encourages you to log in daily to claim your 2 arena tickets, right? But then it also, because there's no other way to win them, the only way is to then like spam invites out to everyone, so you can hope to get the 5, because you get 5, right, per invite. Maybe that's why they designed it like that initially, so that if you are in that situation where you don't have enough arena tickets, you can just start sending out your link to everyone in the hope that then that onboards loads more people, and then you get 5 arena tickets. I have 30 tickets, but then I would need to smash games I know nothing about. Yeah, you do. So yeah, I'm in that position, 3 out of 15. Okay, this is so Paolo over on YouTube, he says, yeah, I'm in that position, 3 out of 15, right? So he's got a huge streak that he has to achieve. He has to hit 15 games won in a row. He's currently at 3 of 15. He's only got 8 tickets with 4 days and 23 hours remaining. So there's not enough tickets he has for him to do it in the 4 days. He doesn't actually have enough. He's a bit short. That's so wrong, isn't it? You know what you would benefit from, Paolo, right? You know what would actually be better is if you then lost the next game it would reset you back to 0, and then you spend a couple of days just not playing it, and just so not using the arena, and then just saving up your arena tickets until you then had enough. But it technically shouldn't be like that, should it? It shouldn't be that you have to sacrifice playing rivals because you don't have enough tickets to play arena, and in order for you to hit that streak, you need to skip a few days of playing arena so that you can then spend a few days collecting them, saving them up until you then have enough to then attempt that streak again. It shouldn't be like that. But it is like that, apparently. Oh man. I feel your pain. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're saying, Jordan. Save the tickets and just don't enter till your streak resets, or just lose the next one, then it will reset. Because then I don't think it doesn't then start again until you get the first win, right? Oh man. So Paolo, you almost don't want to continue to win, right? You almost don't want to continue to win. Because if you continue to win now, you could win the next 8 games in a row, but then your streak is gonna you're not gonna achieve that streak within the time frame, and it's then gonna reset it for you. So all those wins that you're doing are gonna be for nothing. So it's almost just better for you to throw the towel in and start again. Start again and skip a few days and a few games where you don't play Rivals Arena, and you save up the tickets so that you then have 15 or 20 or so, and then you can give it another go. You should get a ticket if you win an arena match. I like that. I actually really like that suggestion from J-Boy Gaming. I think you should get a ticket if you win an arena match. Yeah, I think you should. I agree. Or maybe after X amount of wins, right, you then get an arena ticket. So similar to what they're doing here, where, you know, you've got these streaks. Maybe, you know, you get the reward box after 10 here, but let's say after 3, it triggers another arena ticket for me, right? So at least then that's a way where I know that, okay, I've hit my 3 out of 10, I've got an arena ticket, then I get to 6, I get another one, and then when I get to 10, I get to open the reward box, right? There almost needs to be mini milestones to get you to the major milestone, doesn't there? Or based on your ranking, you know, each week based on your ranking, you can you get rewarded with X amount of arena tickets. So like if we go into, where is it? Here we go. Yeah. So maybe each week, depending on where you are in the leaderboard, will pay out an X amount of arena tickets for you. Because then that'll be an incentive to then be trying to climb the leaderboard constantly, right? Because if you can get kind of in the higher ranges, then you're going to be able to win more arena tickets on a weekly basis, right? Antalyaspor 0-1. Was it Buxa who scored? I wouldn't be surprised if it was Buxa who scored, right? He's like a machine. Oh, it was Sam Larson who scored. Fair enough. Good old Sam Larson. Hopefully winning the tickets will be added to the daily missions. I hope so, yeah. It really needs to be, doesn't it? I think if they're going to add anything there into the daily missions, it should really be, yeah, the arena tickets. Or it's a mix then of like arena tickets, but then you could also win maybe some SO coins as well. And then what they add in the club shop is then arena tickets, which you can then buy with SO coins. So then you have 2 different ways where you can either, you can claim the arena tickets here in the daily missions, but then if you need more, you're also winning Sorare coins here, which will allow you to buy them more in the club shop. Yeah, they will. They will. Also, give people an arena ticket when they win a card reward in the pro competitions. Yeah, they could also do that as well. They could do that as well. Or what they could do in the pro competitions is that, I like what you said there. They could also do it where the tier 5s and the tier 4s and the tier 3s, right, are just kind of like, not the tier 3s, but the tier 4s and tier 5s removed. And then in those reward boxes, you have chances to win arena tickets too. I agree. But I think, you know, I think if anything... Oh. Angelino, top man. Thank you so much for the sub. Welcome back into the channel. I think what this just shows again is that there's quite a cool game mode that is here, but it's been kind of released unfinished, right? And it comes back to the word that we often use on the stream, half-baked, where something is implemented, something's added into the game, but it's really rough around the edges. And then what Sorare will do is that they'll then just kind of improve it over the coming months, right? And I think that's what we're seeing here. That if we're being honest, a lot of this stuff, like the daily missions, should already have been in there. Like being able to win more arena tickets should already be in there. Arena tickets should already be in the club shop, so that when it was launched, you could then go and buy more, but you maybe have a limit as to how many you could buy each week or something. There was a lot of things like the missions, for example. This wasn't even here. The streak should have been different. The matchmaking should have been different. So you can already see and hear now that there's just a load of things that are still very unpolished with the game. And that technically, if we're being honest here, probably shouldn't have released it in the way, in the form that it's in. It could have done with an extra few months of just like touching it up and polishing it, you know, putting these final touches, improving things so much that when you release it, it looks like it's pretty complete, you know? And then all you're really doing is just adding features to it, you know, and bug squashing. But it's kind of like a mode that's half done and half undone. And they're now basically trying to add the things that were missing that shouldn't have been missing from it. And I you know, to be honest, I'm going to say it again. I really wish that Sorare would stop doing that, because I just don't think in the long run that is going to help them to keep people believing in the game. And it's going to affect the user experience when, if each update is kind of half done, half finished, and there's some big things that just don't work or they don't make sense, but then they're like, it's okay, we're going to be improving it in the coming weeks or whatnot, in the coming months. And we saw it with the club shop, didn't we? We saw it exactly with the club shop, where this has been absolutely trash for a whole year. And it is still trash, right? It's still not good enough for a game of this level now. It's really bad. And it's been like this for over a year. And we were kind of promised when they released it that the club shop's going to be getting improved over the coming months, but that was a year ago. And it never got the work that it did. And it's still not there yet. So I think they just need to get into the habit of just spending more time, even if it means that they delay releasing something. I'd much prefer it if they released things that were a bit more complete. Yeah, that's for me anyway, though. I feel like, yeah, the club shop even got more useless with Rivals now. But what I thought they were going to do, I actually thought that when they released Rivals, they were going to have the club shop like revamped at the same time, so that they would then release the club shop. They would then release Rivals, right? And then within the same week or even on the same day, this whole club shop would be completely revamped and relaunched, because it would make sense that the club shop would work well with the Rivals, right? And I actually thought that, because during the beta, you were able to win Sorare coins, right, during the beta. So I was thinking that, okay, when they launch Rivals properly, you're going to have a chance to win more Sorare coins, which you can then spend in the shop, right? But you can't earn any Sorare coins in Rivals at the moment. So maybe that's why they didn't relaunch the club shop, because there's no Sorare coins to be won. But it would have been a great opportunity for them, though, like to launch a new game mode and then revamp the club shop and then tie the two together, so that then you have more of a reason to play that game mode, because there are things in the club shop that are worth getting then, right? But they haven't done it. They haven't done it. So I'm sure we are going to hear about the club shop, as there is going to be a new update soon, as I say, within the next few weeks. But it's just so disappointing that this is still in the state that it's in, and it's been in this basic state since they first launched it over a year ago. It's one of the most neglected areas in the game, the club shop. One of the most neglected areas. And I've already mentioned how neglected it is because you can't even find the club shop. There's nowhere in Sorare that actually tells you there is a club shop. You can't find it. The only way you discover it is if you hover over the balance here of your Sorare coins and then you click on it and it reveals there's a club shop. But that in itself says to you how neglected it is, that they don't even advertise that there's a club shop here. You know, if you was new to the game, you think, okay, here's my club, here's how I invite friends, here's the market, how I can buy new cards, this is how I can sort my lineups out. Oh, there's no shop of any kind in here, because otherwise it would be down here, right? Because this is the menu. And then maybe someone would tell you, or maybe you would stumble across it and you'd be like, why is there a club shop here why is it hidden? So anyways, we can't wait until the club shop gets better. We can't. Sorare can do more than one thing at a time. Come on now, they can barely get one release, right? Yeah. You'd like to think they have different teams working on different things, right? And you'd like to think that there's been a team that's been working on the club shop separate to, say, the team that's been working on Rivals, so that then you have proper resources dedicated towards developing different areas of the game. If they don't have that, then I would love to know why the club shop has not been touched in a year. Because maybe that's the reason. If they have a dedicated team for the club shop, where is that team? What have they been doing for a year? Probably that's the answer, that they don't have one, no? That maybe they have several teams that are trying to do several things together at the same time, but they've not divided the workload up. Because honestly, like, we know the club shop's crap and we know the club shop's going to get better. That's not what we're saying here. What we're saying is, why has it remained crap for so long? Because you would expect there would be a team in Sorare that would be purely focused on developing this, right? So then if this hasn't been developed in a year, then is it a case that there is just like a handful of teams that are trying to do all of the same things together and they haven't divided the workload up? I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys think, but I think this is a big question of like what's going on with this one, and what's also been happening with some elements as well too. We talk about like the trading, the ability to chat on trade. We only recently just got the ability to start adding messages to trades, right? And that took a long time for us to get there, but we also need other ways to improve the trading. I've mentioned it last week, how there should be a way in the game where you can save. If you propose a trade, it should then give you a way where it will save X amount of those of the offers that you send. So maybe you sent an offer with 3 players, right? But then you want to send that same offer out to, say, another 5 or 6 different managers. There's no way in the game for you to save that offer so that you can then just easily select it on the next trade. You have to go and pick the 3 individual players again. And in some cases, you're going to be sending, say, 10 players, right? There's no way for you to easily save that 10 and say, just save this for now, because I want to use that same offer again and again and again for the next 5 or 6 trades, right? Trade offers I send. Stuff like that isn't in the game, and it really should be in the game. And that also kind of makes me think that maybe they're not dividing the workload up enough so that they can focus on, I don't know. What I'd love, guys, honestly, what I would love is, I would love for Sorare to do like a blog or a video showing what it's like to work at Sorare and how they do their job. Like, what is it's almost like a behind the scenes, right? A behind the scenes look at how they manage the game and how they develop the game and how they manage the projects, right? Because at the moment, I hate to say it, but at the moment, I do kind of get the impression that it's a little bit too disorganized and a bit chaotic with how they are managing the game. If stuff like the club shop is just still in tatters after a year, and so many other features in the game just aren't done yet. Yeah, that's what I think anyway. I'm at a point where I don't ask questions anymore because I either get no answers or an answer created by an AI to please me. So the video is going to be 3 seconds long with a short hello and goodbye. Hello, this is how we do things on Sorare. Goodbye. Oh dear. All right. We might take a breather in a minute. This was actually supposed to be a stream where we were meant to be looking at the games happening. We only had a look at a handful of them. We're not going to have enough time, I think, to go back and look at these now. We might just touch on a few as we go throughout the rest of the stream. For now, hold on a minute. Was there a Rivals game that was happening at 3 or 4? No, the next ones were at 5, weren't they? Okay, cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys what my teams are looking like for the midweek. And then what we could probably do is look at those players' fixtures and kind of work out whether they're good or not. I've only got, well, I say I've only got, I'm actually quite happy that we've got a rare team to put out for the midweek. Because often we don't actually have a team for the midweek for rare, but we do have one right now. Now, we've got Hervey Kofi, who's the starting goalie. We have Eric Bokat. We have Anto Grigic, who just hit a score of 79, which is great. I'm really happy I've got him now. We've also got, as an additional midfielder, we've also got Kadri, but I don't really want to play Kadri going away to Club Brugge, right? I mean, that's horrible. But push comes to shove, we can play him if we need to. We've also got Leonardo Morales, who has a home game, which is great because when he plays at home, he's a monster. And then we have Maxi. Now, Maxi DMP'd on the weekend. He's only just joined Platenza. I don't know whether he DNP'd because he's not fit or anything. At the moment, he's our only rare forward that we have for the midweek. And probably what we should do is we should work out whether he's going to be available or not. Because then if he's not going to be available, it means that we'll either be trying to hit the threshold with 4 players, or we then have to make a decision to go and buy another player. Look, Maxi's questionable, but I don't know why. We need to see that. I need to see if I can find what's going on. Because they brought him in and he is going to be their main forward up front. But it might be that he has an injury or he might not be fit. I don't know. We need to check it. And usually we can check it if we go onto Twitter. What we might need to do as well is we might need to go onto Platenza. Here we go. Oh, what? Okay, so this is the English one, but I think what we need to do is we actually need to go on the Spanish-speaking, the native-speaking Platenza, because what we're going to try and find is we're going to try and find the starting lineup, which we just saw, and then we're going to try and work out from the comments why he was missing, why Maxi was missing. Okay, keep going down, keep going down. Here we go. So hopefully we can see in the comments here that someone's asking why Maxi is not there. If a weird thing to post, that guy. Oh, I don't see his name popping up at all. Wonder if it mentions anything here. Yeah, let's read this here. If anybody knows as well, don't be shy. Let me know in the chat. Because I don't know why he was missing. And I'd like to know. I don't think that he's injured. I wasn't aware that he was injured. But he's listed as questionable as well, which makes me think that he maybe has a knock or something. Could be the team chemistry, couldn't it? Could be that maybe he doesn't have enough. He hasn't had enough time yet to gel. But I can't seem to find anything on it. Because he only joined them on the 23rd of Jan. And then they played their game, Platenza. They played their game, what was it, yesterday or something? They played their game on the 27th. To be fair, that's enough time for him to kind of start to gel with the team. But he wasn't even on the subs bench, which makes me think that there's maybe some kind of an issue. I'd actually like to know. I really would, because if we know, then it will make me think, do we need to go and maybe get someone to help us to hit the threshold? Instead, let's do this, actually. Let's do that, and then let's do Platens. Like that. Okay. What's this guy saying? Okay. It says they're missing, but it doesn't say why. Purity's missing, but no why. Okay. What we could do instead is we could actually do a bit of scouting. If we were going to make this work, we'd have to swap a player or maybe a few players to check it out. I don't know whether I want to do it, but I think I want to at least explore whether there is any cheap, rare forward that I could maybe bring in to help me for this next game week, but also long term. If there isn't, we're not going to do it. We can just play the team that we've got with Maxi in there, hope that he plays. If he doesn't play, we're then going to try and hit threshold with 4 players rather than 5. But I want to check it out. Okay, we need to look for rare. And we ideally need to have kind of quite a low value of, like, let's go up to 22. Okay, we have 170 results. And then if we sort by the floor and we sort ascending, let's do that. We could put more filters on. In fact, what we might need to do is we might actually need to search for this via, it's kind of okay. I was going to say we might need to search for this via the floor rather than the average here. One of the reasons why I'm not looking at expensive forwards here is because I'm actually very happy with my my gallery. My rare gallery's fine. So if we were going to make some trades here, I'd ideally like to throw in some limiteds rather than rares. But then if we were going to throw in a few rares, then I could probably throw in a few of the lower end rares that I've got. Because a lot of my higher end rares now, I don't want to lose them. How did he do on the weekend? He didn't score, did he? No. He played 90 minutes and now he's suspended. Check Ante Vukusic. All right. I know of this guy, but I'm not really a huge fan of him. Why are we checking him? Why are we checking this guy? This isn't the guy, is it? This is the guy from Varazden. Yeah, this is the guy. Yeah, he just played 45 minutes, didn't he? On the weekend. Do you know why he played 45 minutes at all, Arthur? I mean, we know he's not really a starter. So every now and then he kind of comes in. But why did he only play 40? He started and he only played 45 minutes and he got taken off. Which says to me that the manager wasn't happy with how he was doing. What was the score at half time? It was 1-1. I mean, he's definitely cheap, right? But he's not really a long-term pickup for me, if I'm honest with you. He doesn't start enough. He's 32. His AA's shocking. Yeah. I don't think we're desperate enough to go for that type of player, but we'll definitely want to have a little look here. Okay, Jonas Marlade's in there. Horrible game. Shaden Morris is in there. Finn Bogerson's in there. He's been he had a good start, but then now he's been kind of like struggling for Eupen. I think a lot of players that go over to Eupen kind of struggle. I don't think it's a good team to be targeting for players, if I'm honest with you. Bobby Cordova's in there, but he doesn't really start enough, Bobby. And when he does, he doesn't actually score enough. Pepe, I don't think so. Corrier's in there. There's Maxi, who we have. Matty Godin can't hit a barn door with a banjo. Yeah, I had Matty Godin, and I shifted him out as part of a trade deal to get, I think it was to get our American goalkeeper. Or it was, if it wasn't to get the American goalkeeper, it was to get Slovak. I actually quite like Matty Godin, but he's not been delivering that well recently. Technically, Jordan White's got a good fixture. Jordan White is very much that budget forward in Sorare where he doesn't have any AA and he won't score more than 60 and he'll only really score 60 or whatever against a weak opponent like that. And they're already quite weak themselves, Ross County, so Thomas Molina I just don't think that I like Thomas Molina for this fixture. He's probably not going to start initially either. Kind of now we're getting into the territory where it's an expense which I don't really want to do. Like around the £20 mark. I was willing to kind of have a little look at it, but I don't really want to spend £20 if I'm honest with you. Cavallina. Don't mind Cavallina, but he's not really done that great since he's been at Tijuana. And now he's kind of been struggling to start. He has been starting recently, but I don't like Tijuana as a club. At the moment, It doesn't look like we're going to do it. Serda's good. Serda's good, though. God, look at Ogben. Ogben's 28. Yeah, Emon's not bad. He's not bad, but he's also not great. Yeah, like he's new at Eupen. Again, I don't think I really want to target Eupen, if I'm honest with you, especially against Charleroi, but it's a good shout. Is he worth £21? He definitely isn't. Not in rare. And it sounds bad that we're saying that because that is actually kind of a cheap price, right? For a rare forward. But when the prices are so low like this for so long, you then start to adjust what is expensive and what's cheap. And technically now, he's too expensive, in my opinion, for what you get from him. There are rumours of Rafik Guitan is going to Benfica. Is he worth buying? Well, do you like him? Because I think the thing with anyone who goes to Benfica is you need to really believe in the play and you also need to feel like they're going to start. If they're not going to start regularly enough, then, because they might not at Benfica, then it's not really worth doing. But if you like them enough, then it might be worth doing it. There's nobody standing out here for me. There's nobody really popping out saying I should go and buy or transfer them in. Like we just got rid of Matty Godin. I could technically go and get him in again, but I'm not going to be spending £17 for him. But if we wanted to trade him in, we probably have to end up spending more. Let's reduce this a little bit more. Let's just say that we want to look for someone who's less than £10 and we want to do it in the floor. I'm pretty sure we won't be able to find anyone, but let's have another look. There we go. We only get 36, which comes up when we're looking for forwards with a value of like £10.50 maximum. I quite liked Laurent Depoitre. Never really know how to pronounce his surname. But I quite liked him when back in the day. This was like way back in the day when he was starting. He was quite a useful forward, but he's so injury prone now. I don't even think I would spend £5 on him. He's 35 and he doesn't start anymore. And I don't think he can start anymore at Ghent because he's got always problems with his knees. So I think he's probably going to have to either start playing lower level football soon or just stop playing. I'll give you Matty for a £15 trade. Nah, I wouldn't do that. Thank you, though. I wouldn't do that. For me, like my last Matty Godin that I picked up, I got in for about, I think it was like £8, £9. I wouldn't spend more, even as part of a trade. I wouldn't spend more than £10 for Matty Godin. But thank you, though. I appreciate it, man. I don't think we're actually going to be able to really find anyone. I mean, Jonas Malade is okay, but he's not really, again, a starter. He's kind of young, but there isn't really anybody here. Jay Rodriguez doesn't start, and even if he did, he's going up against Man City. El Idrissi technically should probably start, no? With Avanetti being suspended for the next game. This guy's done so bad since he's joined Portree. When he was at Ajaccio, he was actually kind of a useful player. But since he's joined Portree, and surprise, surprise, because they're one of the worst teams in the division, he's not really done anything. He's also not started enough, but in the starts he's had, he hasn't delivered a single attacking return. So again, £8.85 for a forward that's not really going to do anything. I might as well just take my risk with Maxi rather than spend £8 on him. He would stack up quite nicely with Kadri, but not in this fixture either. Don't really want to. I like Mata, but I liked Mata when, like 5 years ago when he was like 30. 35-year-old Mata, especially going up against, not Real Madrid, sorry. Going up against Real Madrid. That's pretty horrible. Doesn't start either enough. I do like him, but I don't like him enough to spend £9.38 on him. I found my guy, Damian Fernandez, L15 of 28. Now I could fit in my L15 of 80 goalkeeper. What? Who's your L15 80 goalkeeper? L15 80 goalkeeper. Bloody hell. Jose Arnaiz is in here. Again, look, you can see the big problem here. Yeah, it might not be worth it. We might have to just accept that we're going to try and hit the threshold with 4, or that we get lucky and that Maxi ends up starting or playing. I think even if Maxi came off the subs bench, if he was on the subs bench and Maxi came off, that'd probably be okay. But yeah, if he doesn't, then we're going to have to try and hit the threshold with 4 players. It's not the end of the world. Tagliamonte. We'll have a little look. Wow. So this is your 80 goalkeeper. Wow. What did he? So he literally got 80 in the last. Wow. That's incredible. That's so good. That's really good. I mean, he needs to almost get a score of like 20 or something now, doesn't he? Or 0, just to like level that out. It's great that you found a way to fit him in. It's not very often that somebody says that they can fit an L15 80 player into the lineup. So well played for doing so. But yeah, I think we're okay. Technically, we should be ideally having another forward here, but we don't. I'm happy to take the risk, I think. There's not better options that I can find. There's nobody that I'm willing to make a trade for. I'm very happy with the players I've got. If I was going to trade anybody out, it would have to be for someone that was really jumping out at me and saying, yeah, like I can't ignore that player. There isn't. There's a load of players down here that, frankly, I don't care about. They're not that great. They're just going to make my gallery worse, actually, just for the sake of saying that we've got somebody that's going to deliver us some points for one game week. It's not the way to do it. So that's going to be our team at the moment. In Cap 240 rare for the midweek. Morales is the captain. Maxi, we hope he can get on the pitch somehow as a forward. Anto Grigic, Bokat, Hervey Kofi. And then we have a Cap 240 team, which I think we're also going to be trying to do with a DNP player, a DNP goalkeeper. And here we have, again, Leonardo Morales, who will be our defender and our captain. Then we have Brahim Elman. Then we have Matty Godin, so we've still got him in the limited, which is more than enough. Then we have Matty Godin, and then we have Issa Kabor. And I think that this is a team that has a chance to hit the threshold, even with a DNP goalkeeper. And then we have a team for Cap 220, but it's not a very good one. We have Allison, who's got a game at home against Chelsea, which I don't really like. But I think we'd just do it anyway. And then we've got this guy who isn't really playing, so we'd probably need to take him out and put in I don't know who we could put in here. Yeah, I don't know who we could put in here. This is probably a write-off team, to be honest with you, because we just don't have enough players, really. We've got loads of our Luton Town players that we're going to be playing in the Prem Winter Special. And then these are kind of almost just like the leftovers, so can't let Luton do well as I have my Brighton boys. I think I'd love Luton to beat them, but I don't know. It's Brighton, isn't it? They're so good. But it's very difficult. As I've been saying all year, it's very, very difficult for any team to go to Kenilworth Road. So maybe they can squeeze a draw. I could make a swap for a Prem goalkeeper, but there isn't really a point. Do you know what I mean, League? Like, I could, you're right. I could swap out Allison. We could bring in a better goalkeeper, but then we're still going to have a problem with our defender here. But look, we've got Potts who doesn't play. Anderson doesn't play. Bell does, but Bell's... What team is Bell in? Maybe that's what we would need to do. Technically, we could put Bell in here, because I don't think that Bell is in our priority team. So our number one team is this one here. And Jordan actually told us that he's got the lineup out for Luton. So why don't we look at it? So yeah, Doughty, Bell, Oso, Mengi, Ogben, Barkley, Townsend. This is basically going to be this like 3-5 kind of 2 system. Morris, Adebayor, and Townsend. Okay. So if we took him out, if we put Bell in here, because I think I want to have Oso in the main team. We put Amari Bell in there for 40. Then up front, we could do Colton Morris, who was already in here, for 35, which is really good, actually. He's perfect now, the cap 220. So Colton Morris would be in there. And then we've got 40 at the moment for somebody else to go in there. And technically, well, Ryan Gilles has gone to Hull, hasn't he? Ryan Gilles is at Hull, but no, has he not? I thought he made the move, Ryan Gilles. Who made the move? I thought Ryan Gilles was on his way out to Huddersfield or Hull, but obviously not. Why was I thinking that? Who did go? Who am I confusing him with somebody else? Who did go? I'm not sure where I got that from. Maybe they were just looking at him and it didn't happen. Hold on a minute. Was it Hull? Ah, here we go. Yeah, look. Okay, so I wasn't going mad. So Luton Town record breaker undergoing medical with Hull City, deal set to be completed imminently. So there we go. He's having the medical today. And then Hull have a game against who? I don't know whether he'd go straight in. You'd like to think he would. Ah, their game is postponed. So then their next game is happening on the 3rd. So he wouldn't even... Okay, so Ryan Gilles wouldn't even have a game in this next game week. Okay, so we couldn't put him in even if we wanted to. But then if we took out, as Ligma said, if we took out the goalkeeper now and replaced him, who could we put in here? We still have a problem. Who's in our second team? Yeah, we're still going to have a bit of an issue where we're going to be a bit short. I mean, technically we could put Jean Amani in, but he's not even playing for the national team. Could put Tahith Chong in here for the sub points, I guess, right? I mean, that's probably what we need to do. We probably need to play one of our other Luton Town players here and just know that it's not going to give us a great deal of points, unfortunately. That's the problem with half of the team not being in the half our team not being in the damn game. I know. It's so frustrating. That being said, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Where's Whoa. I'm missing somebody, aren't I? Hold on a minute. Where's my Lagonga? Where's my Lagonga? Why am I not seeing him? I just completely ignored him. Is he already in here? So he wasn't in the first one. He's not in the second one. Was he in this one? I just completely... Where is he? Where's he gone? All right, let's find him. Where is he? What? Oh, he's right there. Oh my God. Thanks, guys. He is already there. Yeah. That's when you know it's time for a break, right? You can't even see the player that you're looking for. He's right there. Oh my God. All right, so we do still have a problem then. We have a problem. Let's try and figure it out, and then we will definitely take a bit of a breather. I think after that I need it. So realistically, we would need to play someone like Chong in here. There's no point. Yeah, so someone asked that as well. Ligma asked that as well. Why don't I swap Allison for a cheaper goalkeeper? There isn't really a point in doing that because I don't need a cheaper goalkeeper. Like, that's not really the problem. I could, right? I could swap for a cheaper goalkeeper and then it might give us a better chance to score better. But that isn't really the problem right now. The problem is that I don't have another limited player to put out. And I'm not going to go and spend on another limited card. So I kind of have to fit somebody in here with what we've got. Now, Reece Burke's not going to play. He's 47. Jean Amani's not going to play. We've got 40 and below. And most of our Luton players are like 40 or less. We could technically play this guy, but it's unlikely that he's going to play because he didn't play on the weekend. He was on the subs bench though. He's very good, but I think he's like he's at 10%. So maybe he comes off the bench or something. Yeah. that's the thing. Like, technically, you guys are right. Is that we should probably look for a better goalkeeper here. But even if we got a goalkeeper that had a really good game, we're just going to swap in somebody to be in a team that is not going to score that great because we have to pick a player here who's either going to not play or come off the subs bench for 25. So it's not even worth the swap at the moment. If we had a really solid player here, we'd be looking at the swap. But we don't. Let's just put Chong in here for now. I might take Chong out. But for now, let's put him in. He's probably the best of what we got to work with, right? And we just have to accept that we're not going to score that great, probably, with this Luton Town team. Or this Cap 220 team. But it also doesn't really matter too much because it's just a month long. But yeah, it's probably what we're going to have to do. I'm using Cabor. Yeah, I'm already using Cabor in, look, Cap 240. Otherwise, I would. Yeah. Yeah, otherwise I would. But we have to use him in Cap 240, right? To try and prioritize the $5 over nothing in Cap 220. So that's what we do there for now. Which isn't great, but we make it work. And then it then means that this team here is missing one. So we can just put in whoever here. Let's put in the Canberra in there. Let's just do that. Nobody's really going to play from the looks of it. And then what we could do here is we could just fill this team up with anyone. In fact, I don't think we can. Yeah, we don't actually have, we don't have enough people to put out for this one. We're missing a forward. Is Townsend a forward in the game? Is Andros Townsend a forward? Would he have a forward card? No, he's a midfielder. He's labelled as a midfielder. Yeah. So we'd actually just have to delete this team here because there's no point. And then we've got, yeah, one proper team, which is this one here for the Prem Winter Special. And then we've got, yeah, one kind of like punty team. Okay. It's definitely time for us to take a bit of a breather. So we will do so. PayPal deposits are now available for Euro or GBP.
To the real.
It's quite cool. It's quite a nice improvement. Yeah, it's a really nice improvement there. And thank you also to Park Leak for the follow. Welcome into the channel, man. As you've just jumped in, we're just about to take a breather. Like, I need it. I'm a bit, I haven't eaten really today. So I need to just quickly go and get something to eat for like 3 minutes. Get some fresh air as well. And then when I come back, I'll be nice and recharged. So yeah, we're going to take a quick breather. Don't go anywhere. Stay connected. And then we'll come back and we'll talk more about the upcoming game week in Sorare, a little bit about Pooky, and then we'll do some free tip scout fun coupons as well. So catch you guys in a few minutes.